In tonight. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Joe Ali is our host and producer, and Tom Young and Christian Giannini are our technical directors. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Saint-Jérôme and Saint-Eustache, Quebec. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. On the mound today is Jose Barrios for the Blue Jays, coming off a run of very impressive starts, including a quality start in Anaheim his last time out. He'll face the flame-throwing Shane Baz, who's been incredibly up and down this year. Sometimes one of the most dominant starters in the game. Sometimes he has struggled to make it through 5 innings. We'll have lineup standings and first pitch from Barrios coming up on the other side. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, streaming at sportsnet.ca, on the Sportsnet app, and on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL three-topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch three-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
Drywall, an essential part of many projects. It's important to get it right and start with quality materials. Essentials you'll always find competitively priced at Timber Mart, like CGC, a recognized giant in the drywall industry for over 100 years and leading Canadian manufacturer of gypsum drywall. Well established and reputable, building pros and contractors know CGC, and you get exactly what the best builders trust. That's as sexy as drywall gets. Timber Mart, Canada's building center.
Find out who will lift the FA Cup trophy this weekend on SiriusXM FC. Crystal Palace are 90 minutes away from their first FA Cup title.
Eze into the area, right-footed shot, slams it in!
In their path is a dangerous Manchester City side, keen on salvaging their season.
Oh, Kevin De Bruyne, that is simply sensational.
It's the FA Cup final, Palace versus City, Saturday at 11:30 Eastern on SiriusXM FC, channel 157 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
After the game, join us on MLB Network Radio. We're talking baseball with you all season long on SiriusXM Channel 89 and the SiriusXM app.
I think it was kind of coming, right? There was a lot of good things happening without results, and we had some big at-bats from guys. You look at, Barger's series, George with a big homer, Bo with a big homer. I thought we ran the bases extremely well, and we got contributions from everyone, really, between Kirky with 4 hits one night, Ernie with 3 hits a couple nights, Lukey with a big series. Everyone kind of did their part, so that's kind of what we expect out of these guys, what we know they're capable of, and it kind of fired on all cylinders in Seattle.
That was Blue Jays manager John Schneider talking about the successful West Coast road trip for Toronto, where they went 4-2 against the Angels and the Mariners. Welcome back to Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Tampa Bay Rays in town. Game 1 of this series about to start in a couple minutes. Chris, I don't think it's an understatement to say that it was one of the more surprising and probably the most successful stretch of games for the Blue Jays over the last 4, sweeping the AL West leaders in their home ballpark, and the Blue Jays scoring a bunch of runs in the 4 wins in a row overall.
The biggest surprise, and you and I talked about it at length on the broadcast, was the fact that the bottom half of the Blue Jays lineup was doing so well. They were so good, so locked in, making good decisions up there. And it'll have to continue. And I know that this Tampa Bay Rays team doesn't have a great record. They sit at 18-22 right now. But Shane Baz is a good pitcher. You look at his ERA, it's almost 5 this season. But like you said, it's been very up and down. He's either very, very good or very, very bad. The Blue Jays better hope that they get that very, very bad Shane Baz, because if he's on, he is a very, very good Major League pitcher.
You mentioned the Rays record. Let's take a look at the Bet365 standings. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19-plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Entering play today, the Yankees leading the American League East at 24-17. 3 games back, the second-place Red Sox are 22-21. 4.5 back, the third-place Blue Jays 20-20. In fourth place, 5.5 back is the Rays 18-22. And the Orioles at 15-24, 8 games back, last in the division. As the Blue Jays trot out onto the field, let's take a look at the lineups today, Chris, starting with Kevin Cash's Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, leading off for the Rays is Chandler Simpson. He's in left field. Batting second is Brandon Lau. He's DHing tonight. Batting third is Junior Caminero. He's at third base. In the cleanup spot is Jonathan Aranda. He's at first base. In center field, batting fifth is Cameron Meisner. Hitting sixth is Jose Caballero. He's at second base. At shortstop, batting seventh is Taylor Walls. Batting eighth is Travis Jankowski. He's in right field. And behind the dish is former Jay. Batting ninth, Danny Jansen. On the mound is righty Shane Baz. For the Toronto Blue Jays, leading off is Bo Bichette. He's at shortstop. Batting second is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's at first base tonight. DHing and back in the lineup, batting third is Anthony Santander. In the cleanup spot in right field is George Springer. Batting fifth is Dalton Varsho. He's in center field. At second base, batting sixth is Ernie Clement. Batting seventh, coming off a 2-for-4 ball game, is Addison Barger. He's at third base. Behind the dish, batting eighth is Tyler Heineman. And batting ninth in left field is Nathan Lucas. On the mound is righty Jose Barrios.
Barrios getting loose right now in the Blue Jays' royal blue jerseys with white pants. The right-hander is 30 years old, 6 foot tall, 205 pounds, from Puerto Rico. He's 1-1 on the year with a .386 earned run average in 8 starts, although he's probably been a lot better than that over the last several starts. Barrios in Anaheim on the 7th went 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. He did have 5 walks, one of them intentional, and he struck out 9.
Yeah, it was a little bit weird in his last start. Like you said, 5 walks, but his stuff was so good. He was able to get through that start with a pretty good box score, but he's been pretty good over his last 3 or 4 starts. I expect a lot of him tonight, or a lot out of him tonight, sorry.
Barrios settles onto the hill. Left-handed hitter Chandler Simpson in the lefty box. Barrios kicks and offers, and the first pitch of the day is hit in the air, shallow right center. Varsho with a late start, sprints in, makes the catch, and it's 1 pitch, 1 out for Jose Barrios. Time of the first pitch today, 7:08 Eastern. The roof is closed, unfortunately. Again, it is 17 degrees in downtown Toronto, but threat of rain coming this evening. So Barrios now palms up a new baseball and faces another left-handed hitter for Tampa Bay. DHing today, it's Brandon Lau. Barrios offers home. Misses low, ball 1. Rays in their powder blue uniforms today. Gray pants. Lau awaits a 1-0. And it's in there, strike 1. Home plate umpire is Ramon DeJesus. Paul Clemens at first base. Working second is the crew chief Adrian Johnson, and Quinn Walcott at third. The 1-1. Hit on the ground, foul. He hooked it into the netting down the right field line. 1-2.
Ben, how did you like those anthems today?
Well, you had a personal connection to the anthems. I'm not sure people at home know what we're talking about.
I have to say what's up to my nephew Wesley. He's at Hillcrest Elementary School, and they sung both national anthems today, and they did a great job.
1-2 pitch outside, 2-2. Especially when Wesley stepped in front of the choir, took the mic for himself. I thought that was a great part of the anthem.
I told him to do that. Hopefully we don't get in trouble for that.
1 out, base is empty. No score, top of the first. The 2-2. Fouled away. This first inning brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Armstrong Bird Food, the reason birds fly north, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Feels like it's been a while since the Blue Jays have played here, with 2 days off and the 6 road games in between the last home game. 2-2. Outside, full count. For the Rays, certainly it is a bit of an anomaly at this point in their schedule to go on the road. This is only their 13th road game of the season, by far the least of any team in the majors. Payoff pitch to Lau. Low ball 4, and the DH takes a first inning walk.
And there's a reason for that, right? Because
it has to do with the weather patterns, both the heat and the storms that come a lot of the time in the middle of the summer in Tampa Bay has caused the Rays to have a bunch of home games early and a ton of road games starting in July.
I've done the whole Florida thing in the summertime. It is not easy to be a baseball player. I played in Jacksonville, Jupiter, Florida, and Miami. A lot of rain.
First pitch to Junior Caminero, called a strike against the right-handed hitter, 0-1. So the Rays with their 13th road game starting now. Everyone else had at least 18 coming into today. 0-1 pitch. Popped up. Right side of the infield. Guerrero tracking back. Clement moving over towards him. It's Vladdy making the call, and the catch on the edge of the right field turf. 2 outs.
Well, that's not where Barrios wanted that changeup. He wanted that thing down below the strike zone, but it had enough movement on it to get in on the hands of Caminero. Pretty good pitch.
So 2 outs now for Barrios. Did issue the walk to Brandon Lau, so the DH is on first. No score, top of the first inning. Another left-handed hitter for the Rays. There's going to be a bunch of guys hitting left today between lefties and switch hitters. It's Jonathan Aranda up, the first baseman. Open stance, Aranda with the bat on his left shoulder looks at Barrios. Righty offers. Outside, ball 1. 27-year-old from Mexico, Jonathan Aranda has been the heart and soul of this offense so far, batting .342 with 5 homers and 18 RBIs. 1-0. Outside, 2-0.
He's been great, and you could tell that Jose Barrios and Tyler Heineman back there are staying away from him the first 2 pitches off the plate outside.
Aranda becomes doubly important this series because there's no Yandy Diaz for the Rays. He was put on the restricted list today. 2-0 pitches outside, 3-0. Kevin Cash told us that there are passport renewal issues for Yandy Diaz. I guess he didn't get the passport updated in time, so he could not cross the border and come play against the Blue Jays. 3-0 pitch. Called strike. Aranda taking all the way. Takes a sinker down near the knees.
I think the rule, at least for normal humans, is 6 months, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. I thought you could expedite it, though.
Especially if you play Major League Baseball. 3-1. Outside, ball 4, and his second walk in this first inning for Barrios puts 2 aboard with 2 outs.
And keep in mind, in Jose Barrios' last start, he did walk 5, so the release point, the command is a little bit questionable right now, but you could tell that they were staying away from Jonathan Aranda. Didn't want to give him anything he could drive, especially with Cameron Meisner coming up next.
Tyler Heineman's going to step out from behind home plate, go to his right knee to use the pitch comm and give signals to his defense in case there's a double steal. First and second, 2 down. Rookie Cameron Meisner is up to the plate. Another left-handed hitter, the center fielder today for the Rays. Barrios set at the belt, looks back at second, and the pitch home. Meisner takes it outside, ball 1. Cameron Meisner's a big guy, 6'4", 220 pounds. Hails from Missouri. 1-0. Fouled off the end of the bat, ricochets off Heineman, 1-1.
How about that 1-0 changeup? My favorite pitch in baseball is a 2-0 changeup, but a 1-0 changeup is pretty effective there. You can see Meisner not comfortable with it. He was way out in front.
It's one of Barrios' main pitches to left-handed hitters. He's got a sinker, slurve, changeup, four-seamer, and cutter overall. The 1-1. Outside with a fastball. That was a four-seamer, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Barrios is really struggling to hit that outside corner right now. Tyler Heineman doing everything he can to help out, try to frame that pitch, but those pitches are way off the plate.
2-1. Swing and a miss. Back foot slurve. One of his best pitches so far. It's 2-2.
It was a wicked slurve. Tons of movement, really tight.
First and second, 2 outs, no score, top of the first. Barrios' 20th pitch. Called strike 3. Fastball surprises Meisner on the inner third, and he strikes him out looking to end the inning. No runs, no hits, 2 left for the Rays. No score as Bo Bichette leads it off for the Blue Jays when we come back. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
Breaking news come at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Runner going, throw down to second. They got him.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Shane Baz takes a breath, puts his hands together, and deals to Bo Bichette to start the bottom of the first inning. Swing and a bouncing ball hit to second, vacuumed up by Jose Caballero, who throws over to first for the first out. Welcome back to Rogers Center. No score between the Blue Jays and the Rays, bottom of the first inning. And welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. 6'3", 200-pound right-hander Shane Baz is making his 8th start of the year, 3-2, with an ERA just below 5. Righty offers to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Called strike. Baz, 6'3", 200 pounds from Houston, Texas. Four-seamer, knuckle curve, changeup slider. His pitch. Chopped to shortstop, backhanded Taylor Walls. Takes a couple steps into the throw and delivers over to first, and 2 quick outs on the ground for Shane Baz.
And that was the slider there. It was a little bit of a hanger. I'm sure Vlad wishes he could get that pitch back and probably drive that pitch. But Shane Baz has very good stuff. Averages about 97 with that fastball. He has a knuckle curve that he throws at about 84 miles an hour. Then he'll mix in a changeup and a slider.
2 down, Anthony Santander hitting for the Blue Jays. DH bats left. The pitch. Called strike. First appearance for Santander since the series finale in Anaheim, when he flipped over the short sidewall, looking to make a catch in foul territory, and hurt his left shoulder. 0-1. Bounce foul, 0-2.
It's good to see him back in the lineup, of course.
It did feel like it was getting to the point where either he was going to return to the lineup or go on the injured list after not playing in 3 straight games. 0-2. Fouled back, headed in our direction. It gets up into the 400 level boxes just above our heads. Still 0-2. Baz stretches out his arms on the mound. He's got blonde hair coming out of the back of his cap and a bleach blonde mustache that almost blends in with his upper lip. 0-2. High, and that one skips off Danny Jansen to the backstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Shane Baz's fastball is electric. That last fastball, the four-seamer, was 99 miles an hour, obviously way out of the strike zone. Danny Jansen had a tough time catching it, but when he is on, when he is locating that fastball, it's one of the best. Two outs, no score, nobody on. The 1-2. Lined foul.
Santander reached down and in to get to that ball and lofted it over the netting down the right field line into the seats. You mentioned, though, the tantalizing stuff of Shane Baz. That's what made him the 12th overall pick by the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2017 out of a high school in Tomball, Texas, in the Houston area. One, two again. Poke back foul.
The Pittsburgh Pirates seem to have a knack for finding those flamethrowers, especially right-handed pitchers.
And then trading them to another team.
Well, yeah, that too.
Clay Holmes.
That too. But
their
scouting department must be pretty good.
Just got to listen to the scouts more. Keep the guys. 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. 99 elevated near the eyes. Santander looking back at it, Baz, after he punches him out to end the inning. 1, 2, 3 for Shane Baz in the bottom of the first. No score. Blue Jays and Rays after one. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
There's a world where New Wave rolls. First Wave, where 80s era alternative and cult classics play 24/7.
I'll stop the world and melt with you. Let me go on, like I blister in the sun.
Get your New Wave fix on First Wave. Channel 33, or listen at home with SiriusXM on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, and other internet-connected devices and speakers.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
I'm John Palmerosi, host of the SiriusXM original podcast, The Road to Cooperstown. Hear our conversations with Hall of Famers about the challenges they overcame on the journey to baseball immortality.
It is a hard game, and mentally it's hard.
I used to go to bed crying. They pretty much knew I was going to have lung surgery after the season. I wasn't for sure would I ever play baseball again.
The Road to Cooperstown is the official podcast of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. Episodes are available now on the SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the second inning, presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet on popular markets like hits, home runs, and total bases. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. No score, Jose Barrios steals to Jose Caballero, who pokes it out to right field, high in the air, fairly deep. Ranging back, Springer curls just in front of the track and makes the catch. 1 out. I'm Ben Schulman alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. Jose Barrios strong in the first, except he walked 2 hitters, which might be a little bit worrying considering his 5 walks in his last start. He does get more middle to bottom of the Rays order this inning. Just got the number 6 hitter, Caballero. And now Taylor Walls up the pitch. Switch hitter takes inside from the left side, 1-0. Addison Barger playing in at third base, toes on the edge of the infield turf. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a fly ball left center. Dalton Varsho sprinting toward the gap. Waves off Lucas, makes the catch overhead. And that's 2 outs in 3 pitches this inning for Jose Barrios.
And that last pitch was a cutter. We don't see that a ton early on from Jose Barrios, but it was a good pitch in on the hands of Taylor Walls. It jammed him up, and he hit a weak fly ball out to center field.
He had trouble locating the sinker and four-seamer in the first. Maybe he turns more to the cutter today. 2 outs, left-handed hitting Travis Jankowski up. The pitch, squares to bunt, pulls back, takes a strike on another cutter. It's 0-1.
A lot of the times when you have trouble locating the fastball, it's good to throw an off-speed pitch. I know the cutter's not an off-speed pitch, but it's a different release point. You have to get out front for it to cut. So maybe that's what he's trying to do.
0-1 pitch is a slurve outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Long blonde hair for Travis Jankowski, 2023 World Series champion with the Texas Rangers. A journeyman now on his 8th Major League team. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string with a change. It's 1-2. Bases empty, 2 down, no score. Top of the 2nd inning. Barrios set at the belt, looks to the plate, kicks and offers. Bounce back to the hill. Barrios picks it up. Bounces a throw over to first. Backhanded pick by Guerrero in time to end the inning. 1-2-3 for Jose Barrios in the top of the 2nd. No score. Blue Jays and Rays, middle of 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement.
What's up, Blue Jays fans? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight for the Blue Jays and the Rays. Our Jays have won some games now, starting to look a little bit better. Let's keep it rolling. And you know what else is really exciting? I just wanted to say thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight and every night, because we did it. We got the email today. It is now on its way. Our silver plaque for 100K is going to be shipped within the next week to 2 weeks. I can't wait to show everybody here on TSI, and I can't wait to party with all of you one day in Toronto at the top of the CN Tower, holding this bad boy. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for hitting that like button, hitting that share button as well. That's how we got here. The share button, that's the key. When you send this link out and we bring more baseball fans to the chat or to our Playoff Pulse hangouts, where we raise money for SickKids Hospital every single game, that's where the magic happens. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button whenever you did along the way, or if you're just doing it right now, then let's get back to the baseball. Go Jays, go! We'll see you back in the chat.
For our participating location, visit timbermart.ca.
This is Jose Barrios, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Yo tengo el fuego.
George Springer leading off for the Blue Jays, bottom of the 2nd inning against the Tampa Bay Rays at Rogers Center. There's no score. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Shane Baz absolutely dominated in the top of the 1st inning. 2 groundouts and then a strikeout of Anthony Santander. Right-hander making his 31st Major League start. Sets and now deals. Outside with the breaking ball, 1-0. Rays and their fans hoping to get an extended run from Shane Baz, something that you haven't really seen from him at all in his Major League career. 1-0. Fouled back, uncomfortable swing on the high heat, 1-1.
I think the most disappointing thing is for Rays fans, obviously the Rays organization with Shane Baz, is the stuff is so good. And you think to yourself, if only this guy could stay healthy.
Debuted in 2021, his 1-1 in the dirt, 2 balls, 1 strike. Only once in a season since his 2021 debut has he had at least 10 starts. He's never thrown 100 innings in a Major League year. It was last year he made 14 starts to an ERA just above 3. His pitch. Springer takes up and in, 3 balls, 1 strike.
There has to have been at least a conversation, not necessarily with Shane Baz, but with the brass in that Rays organization. Should we change this guy into a reliever? There has to be that conversation at some point.
3-1. Called strike, 97 on the black outside, 3-2.
George Springer's actually nodding his head right now. It's letting everybody know that was a great pitch.
Dalton Varsho waiting on deck. Full count, nobody out. Baz's pitch. Swing and a miss, he got him. 98 just off the plate away. 1 out.
And it's almost like there's another gear to that fastball. Yes, it says 98 on that radar gun, but I almost feel like it seems a little quicker than that.
It certainly looked like that when Boz starts against the Blue Jays in his career. He's got a 2.12 ERA against Toronto in 3 career starts, including his Major League debut coming against the Blue Jays. His pitch to Dalton Varsho, called strike. Debuted against Toronto September 20th, 2021. Came up in September of that season, made 3 starts that year, and then even pitched in the playoffs for the Rays. 0-1. Hit away, foul, a pop-up into the seats, third base side, 0-2. But early on in 2022, he required arthroscopic elbow surgery and then strained his elbow again, got Tommy John surgery, missed all of 2023. 0-2 pitch, foul tip by Varsho, strike 3, 99 outside that time, and that's 3 straight strikeouts for Shane Baz.
I mean, that's just ridiculous stuff. When you can get a guy to swing at a fastball that far off the plate, that was about maybe 2 balls off the plate outside. When you can get a guy to just flail at a pitch like that, that means that fastball has all kinds of life to it.
2 double-digit strikeout performances this season for Baz. His pitch to Ernie Clement. Rolled over to third base, fielded in foul territory by Caminero. 0-1. In his first start of the year, Game 5 of the season for the Rays, Baz pitched 6 innings against the Pirates. 7 hits, no runs, no walks, 10 strikeouts. Then he went up against Boston 2 starts later. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, no walks, 11 strikeouts. 0-1. Check swing, pitch in the dirty, went around, says Ramon De Jesus. And quickly Ernie Clement in a 0-2 hole. Baz has struck out the last 3 going back to the first inning. He's looking to strike out the side here. Righty brings his hands together just above the belt. Slow leg kick, 0-2. Check swing, pitch in the dirt, appeal to first. He went around, says Paul Clemens. Strike 3. Ernie Clement goes down swinging. Shane Baz strikes out the side in the bottom of the second. We go to the third at Rogers Center. No score, Blue Jays and Rays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ Home Hardware and Building Center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Jose Barrios with a trio of strikeouts to end a scoreless 6.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Danny Jansen leading off the inning for the Tampa Bay Rays to a raucous applause right now from Blue Jays fans. No score, top of the third inning. Number 9 hitter and catcher for Tampa Bay steps in. Jose Barrios offers to Jansen, and the first pitch called a strike. 0-1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Jansen joining the Rays in the offseason on a 1-year deal with an option for 2026. 0-1. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Love a good option, especially if it's a player option.
It's a mutual option.
Ooh.
You know how I feel about those. They almost never get picked up, but it's possible. 1-1. Check swing, and the pitch hit him on the hand. We've seen that before. Danny Jansen walks down to first.
That's about right, isn't it? Danny Jansen running down to first base right now at the Rogers Center. He's done that after getting hit by a pitch numerous times.
Too many times.
As a Blue Jay, right in the forearm.
Better than the hand, actually. He had a couple injuries in his Blue Jay career based on getting hit in the hand. Yeah, that one got him on the forearm just above the right elbow. For Barrios to hit batter after 2 walks already in the game. Now his pitch to Chandler Simpson, called a strike 0-1.
Don't get me started on that type of hit by pitch, Ben.
It's Danny Jansen. You can't give him a hard time. I know his hands leaked out over the plate. It's Danny Jansen. Third baseman Barger playing way in against the speedy Chandler Simpson. The pitch. Simpson squares to bunt, pulls it back, or kind of bunted through it. It was a little in between. It's a strike anyway. It's 0-2.
And we have seen and heard a ton about Chandler Simpson, a guy that obviously has a ton of speed. A lot of highlights of this guy already.
Keith Law of The Athletic compared his prospect profile to that of Billy Hamilton, the notorious base stealer. 0-2 is lined right field, base hit, bouncing down in the corner. Jansen off to the races around second. He gets a stop sign at third. Simpson into second in a flash with a double to set up the Rays. Second and third, nobody out.
Well, that was a four-seam fastball right down the middle, and Chandler Simpson just hammered that thing down into the corner in right field. We didn't get to see him burn, though, because Danny Jansen was in front of him.
For Simpson, it is his 4th double of the season. And the Rays now with runners on second and third, nobody out, and Brandon Lau coming up to the plate. Infield moving in for the Blue Jays. There was some hesitation from Bichette and Clement, but now the shortstop and second baseman have stepped in front of the base runners. The pitch to Brandon Lau is lined, base hit into right. Jansen comes in to score. Simpson getting the wave. Springer's throw goes back into second. It's a 2-run single for Brandon Lau and a 2-0 Rays lead with nobody out in the top of the third.
Brandon Lau did a really good job waiting back on that changeup from Jose Barrios. It might have been up just a little bit, but kept that bat back and kind of just flicked the bat at it. And actually hit a pretty good line drive to right field for a couple of RBIs.
For Lau, it's RBIs 19 and 20 on the season. He's on first, nobody out. Pitch to Junior Caminero is hit back foul, 0-1. This third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Saint-Jérôme and Saint-Eustache, Quebec. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. 0-1 pitch, cut on and missed. A good change to make it 0-2.
That was the good one. That was the one he wanted to throw to Brandon Lau, but kind of left it up.
And a staple of Barrios so far this year has been pitching his best with runners in scoring position, but he got burned there on the 2-run single. Lau still on first, nobody out, 2-0 Rays, top of the third. 0-2. Fouled right back. Well, you mentioned we've heard a lot about Chandler Simpson. For years now, Junior Caminero has been a huge prospect in the Rays system. International signing by Cleveland in 2019 out of the Dominican Republic, traded over to the Rays in 2021. Swing and a miss. He got him. Slurve way off the plate, down and away. Caminero loses his helmet as he chases, and there's one out.
That's the big strikeout right there. You have to get strike one, and now you can think about a double play here. Maybe a changeup away, a sinker away. See if you can get Aranda to roll over one here.
While Aranda is dangerous, he is also liable to hit into double plays. Not known for his speed, the left-handed hitter provides more of his offensive value with contact and thump. Runner on first, one out, 2-0 Rays in the pitch. Called a strike. Part of the reason the Blue Jays might have stayed away from Aranda in that first inning, he's got 15 career home runs. 6 of them have come against the Toronto Blue Jays, including 2 off today's starter, Jose Barrios. The 0-1. High and outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. I wouldn't say he's in that Cal Raleigh, Ryan Mountcastle territory, He's probably in a group with Daniel Schneemann and some other guys who might be working their way into the Blue Jay killer list. 1-1. Swing and a deep drive. Right field. Hooking toward the line. And that's a foul ball. Banged off the sidewall deep in the right field corner.
Well, that was just a loud foul ball. Really, it was a good pitch from Jose Barrios. A cutter in on the hands. That's all Jonathan Aranda could do with that pitch. Got jammed a little bit, but hit it foul down that right field line. Just foul, actually.
Aranda with the slow walk back to the plate was handed his black bat back and now stretches out his arms before sinking back into the box. White batting gloves, white Nike cleats for the left-handed hitting Jonathan Aranda, who hikes up his pant legs to show his dark socks. Step off, throw over to first, and a dive back in by Brandon Lau. 2-0 Rays thanks to the Brandon Lau single. One out, Lau on first, top of the third. Barrios twists his hips to look at first, now sets at the belt. Righty kicks and offers. Swing and a fly ball deep right. Springer back, turns around, looking up, see you later. Home run, Jonathan Aranda, a 2-run shot, his 6th of the year, and it's 4-0 Rays.
Well, Jose Barrios isn't happy with that pitch. I wouldn't be either. It was a changeup that was left over the middle again. Another mistake with that pitch with 2 strikes and a 1-2 count to a guy like Jonathan Aranda. You have to get on top of that changeup. You have to get it below that strike zone. What a swing from Jonathan Aranda for another home run this season, his 6th home run.
And his 7th career against the Toronto Blue Jays, now his 3rd against Jose Barrios. And the Rays have jumped out to a 4-0 lead all in this inning. Started with the Danny Jansen hit by pitch, then a double, single, strikeout, and a 2-run homer. Cameron Meisner up the pitch. Swing and a foul off to the left, 0-1. Center fielder Meisner struck out looking in the first inning on a Barrios sinker. 0-1. Called inside. Might have been a strike. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Meisner, a first-round compensatory pick by the Miami Marlins in 2019 out of the University of Missouri. 1-1. Outside 2-1. Part of one of the great first rounds of the last decade, maybe more. Picked alongside Adley Rutschman, Bobby Witt, Corbin Carroll, Riley Green, Bryson Stott, C.J. Abrams. 2-1 pitch fouled back, 2-2.
I would imagine that Cameron Meisner's name doesn't come up much in that conversation.
Probably not. I didn't even get to Anthony Volpe, George Kirby, Alek Manoah, Shea Langoliers, or Josh Young. All picked in that first round. And it is the first round, but the Major League Draft usually so random. You don't have that much talent in the first round. 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Back foot slurve for Barrios' 3rd strikeout today.
That's a pretty good slurve right there. Started in the strike zone and then just dove right underneath the bat. A back foot slurve. That's the pitch that he needs to start throwing more often in this game to get more swings and misses.
Blue Jays down 4-0, although with the way they've hit recently, not out of a ball game like it might have felt 3, maybe even sooner than that, 2 weeks ago. 2 outs, pitch to Jose Caballero is hit on the ground right side. Long run for Clement, and it goes past him into right field, a base hit. They had Ernie Clement playing up the middle because it was a right-handed hitter, and Caballero punishes the Blue Jays going the other way.
Yeah, we've seen that so often from Bo Bichette. We've seen it so often from Alejandro Kirk. Just a good job going the other way from Caballero.
Caballero, a dangerous base runner, is settling up on first base. Tyler Heineman's going to go talk to his starter. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Hit a home run on your next home improvement. For a great selection of renovation products and quality brands, Timber Mart has the bases loaded for a grand slam on every project. Batter up. Timber Mart is Canada's building center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host and producer. Tom Young and Christian Chiniti are our technical directors. 4-0 Rays over Blue Jays. 2 outs. Caballero on first. Top of the third. Jose Caballero led the American League last year with 44 stolen bases, although he led Major League Baseball, being caught 16 times. He leads off first, and the pitch to Taylor Walls. Hit on the ground right at Vladdy. Down to a knee, picks it up, steps on first, and ends the inning. The Rays, though, break out for 4 runs on 4 hits, capped off by the Jonathan Aranda 2-run homer to make it 4-0 Rays, middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Find out who will lift the FA Cup trophy this weekend on SiriusXM FC. Crystal Palace are 90 minutes away from their first FA Cup title.
Eze into the area, right-footed shot, slams it in!
In their path is a dangerous Manchester City side, keen on salvaging their season.
Oh, Kevin De Bruyne, that is simply sensational.
It's the FA Cup final, Palace versus City, Saturday at 11:30 Eastern on SiriusXM FC, channel 157 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app. Jays fans, John Schneider joins MLB Network Radio every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern on SiriusXM 89 and the SiriusXM app.
Baseball is back. It's former General Manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former Big League GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Radio Network.
Madison Barger leading off the bottom of the third. 4-0 Rays at Rogers Center. Shane Baz kicks and offers. Called strike. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Shane Baz dominant through 2 innings, 4 strikeouts, and he's retired all 6 he's faced. Right on left, Baz kicks and offers. Called strike again. 0-2.
It's really difficult to look at the Shane Baz's last couple of games and think that he gave up 13 earned runs in those 2 ball games.
Last 4 overall, he's got an ERA above 8. But we mentioned off the top, he's either been really good or really struggled this year. There hasn't really been a mediocre Shane Baz outing yet. 0-2. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And we've talked a lot about that fastball, upper 90s, obviously a ton of life through that strike zone, but I don't think we've mentioned really how good that knuckle curve is. He just threw a pretty good one there that Addison Barger was able to lay off of.
The 1-2. Fouled back, 98 down the middle. Barger protecting was a little bit late on it.
It's really hard, though, to be thinking 98, 99 straight. And then Shane Baz is able to throw in that wrinkle, that good knuckle curve. Almost a 12-6 curveball. You don't really see many of those.
Another 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on the aforementioned knuckle curve, and that's 5 straight strikeouts for Baz.
And that wasn't even really a good one. It was more of a hanger. But again, when a guy is throwing so hard with so much life, it's tough to react to that knuckle curveball. Even when it's a hanger like that was, you could see Addison Barger was fooled by it.
1 out, the switch hitting catcher Tyler Heineman hits from the left side. Third baseman Caminero playing in the pitch. Called strike, 98, just clipped the top of the zone. Kevin Cash was asked today, what's the difference between the good starts and the not so good starts for Shane Baz? Baz is 0-1. Swatted back foul, 0-2.
That's a fantastic question, by the way.
And what he said, yeah, and people are trying to be nice. Not so good rather than bad starts. But he said this is true of everyone, but amplified more with Boz. When he's getting ahead, he's good. And when he's not getting ahead, he's struggled. 0-2. Bounce to left side, and that's going to roll through a base hit into left field. Heineman around first, trying for second, and the throw goes into the cutoff man. Head first dive by Heineman, who has a one-out double, just rolling one through the left side, beating the shift.
Junior Caminero, the third baseman, was playing way off the line, and I don't know if Tyler Heineman was fooled or if he was trying to do that. It was a tough curveball down in the strike zone, but perfectly placed just around that third base bag. He has himself a double.
First bounce of that hit actually bounced in foul territory before coming back fair. Heineman's got his 4th double of the year, and the Blue Jays have their first base runner with one out in the bottom of the 3rd. Pitch to Nathan Lucas. Hit on the ground right at the second baseman, Caballero. Picks it up on 3 hops, throws over to first. Heineman will advance to 3rd. There are now 2 down. So back to the top of the order for the Blue Jays, trailing 4-0, bottom of the 3rd. Bo Bichette's going to hit for a second time with Tyler Heineman on 3rd base. Boz is set. Heineman leading off in his eye line at 3rd in foul territory. First pitch. Hit off the end of the bat. A roller foul right side toward the first base dugout. 0-1. Bichette hitting .279 on the year after his ground out in the first. .712 OPS, 2 homers, 18 RBIs. 0-1. Fouled away, 0-2.
He was all over that curveball right there. Sorry, that was a slider that kind of just spun over the middle of the plate. You can see Shane Boz on the mound right now, probably feeling lucky, but Bo Bichette was all over that pitch, just missing it.
Bichette wheels around the bat and brings the black bat onto his right shoulder. 0-2. Lined foul, a screamer off the netting above the first base dugout. That was 100 from Boz at the top of the zone, and Bichette fought it away. Boz has thrown 34 pitches so far, 29 of them strikes. Another 0-2. Bounce to the plate, run-saving block by Jansen, who crawled after it in the lefty box. 1-2.
I mean, it's interesting to think about the thing that will make him an elite pitcher is just getting ahead. It seems so simple, but yet some guys, even with elite stuff, find it to be difficult.
His 1-2. Swing and a deep drive. Left field. Simpson back at the warning track. Leaps, and it bounces off the top of the wall. Heineman in to score. Bichette up to second. That one might have left the yard, but for now, it's an RBI double for Bo Bichette. It's 4-1 for the Rays over the Blue Jays, and the umpires are going to conference. That might have hit the top of the wall and then the railing over the wall before coming back into play. And they will call that a home run. 2-run shot for Bo Bichette, and the Blue Jays have the deficit. They've changed the call on the field as Bichette trots around to the plate. Now Kevin catches out, and more than likely, we're about to see a review.
Chief, review of that call.
So Ramon DeJesus letting us know, and Adrian Johnson actually just let us know, the crew chief, that the call on the field is now home run. The umpires got together to change the call on the field.
Crew chief review, we have a home run on the field. Crew chief review of the home run call.
And now they have a crew chief review of that call.
That did hit the railing. We got, we had the simplest view, and I could see that did hit the railing. Yeah. So that is in fact a home run. This will be a quick one from New York, I can imagine.
Through Bichette, another hanging slider. He missed that first one, like you had mentioned earlier in the at-bat. He did not miss that one.
Thank you. After review, call on the field's confirmed, home run.
So a 2-run homer for Bo Bichette. We had to wait a little longer than we wanted, But it's Bichette's third of the year, up to 20 RBIs, and it gets the Blue Jays right back in it. From 4-0, they now have it at 4-2.
Yeah, and like you said, Shane Baz threw that mistake early on in the at-bat. It was a slider right down the middle that was just spinning, and Bo Bichette was all over it. He just missed it and fouled it back, and he almost threw it a very similar pitch that time, and Bo Bichette didn't miss it.
Now the pitch to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Down and away, ball one. 4-2 Rays, bases empty, bottom of the third, and 2 outs. Nice to get some response for the Blue Jays, considering the 4 they allowed in the top of the third. The 1-0. High, 2 balls, no strikes.
And all of a sudden we have ourselves a ball game. How about that?
And Bo Bichette starting to get the ball out of the yard. Two-0. Inside, almost hit Guerrero. Spins out of the way of it as it bangs off the backstop and rolls to the left of home plate. 3-0.
He's thrown 3 pitches to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in this at-bat, and not one of them has been close. Like you said, that last one was about an inch away from hitting that elbow guard.
That was another slider that he didn't have a good handle on. 3-0 pitch. Fastball at 96, called a strike. Vladdy by far with the most experience against Baz of anyone on the Blue Jays. 4 for 8 coming into today, all singles. Now 4 for 9 because of a first inning ground out. 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 97 elevated. It's a full count.
It's a big swing from Vlad. You know what he was trying to do with that swing.
Don't believe we've seen back-to-back home runs from the Blue Jays this year.
That's still possible.
Full count, 2 outs, bases empty. 4-2 game. Blue Jays still trailing, but closer after the Bichette homer. 3-2 pitch. Called, strike 3. 99 on the outside edge. Vladdy bouncing around. That did appear to clip the zone. And for Baz, it's strikeout number 6 on the evening. The Blue Jays do get 2, though, on 2 hits after the Heineman double. A Bo Bichette 2-run homer, and it's 4-2 for the Rays over the Blue Jays after 3 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Find out who will lift the FA Cup trophy this weekend on SiriusXM FC. Crystal Palace are 90 minutes away from their first FA Cup title.
Eze into the area, right-footed shot, slams it in!
In their path is a dangerous Manchester City side, keen on salvaging their season.
Oh, Kevin De Bruyne, that is simply sensational.
It's the FA Cup final, Palace versus City, Saturday at 11:30 Eastern on SiriusXM FC, channel 157 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Welcome back to Rogers Center. 4-2 the Rays lead, top of the 4th, and the first pitch to Travis Jankowski is lifted to shallow center. Bo Bichette, the shortstop out there, makes a one-handed catch, and Jose Barrios retires the first batter he sees on 1 pitch to start the 4th.
Barrios needed that one. 1 pitch, 1 out. It's probably a big pitch in this ball game.
Blue Jays came up with 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd after Barrios allowed 4 in the top half. Has this game still manageable for Toronto with the number 9 hitter Danny Jansen coming up. Pitch home. Called strike, 0-1. Mentioned last time he was up last inning that Jansen signed a 1-year deal with an option with the Rays. 0-1. Downstairs. Jansen's deal is 1 year, $8.5 million, and then a mutual option for 2026 for $12 million, or they pay him a $500,000 buyout. 1-1. Called strike, 1-2. Typical eye black on for Danny Jansen. A couple buttons at the top of the jersey undone. No batting gloves, but he does have a hand protector on his left hand. 1-2. Outside and low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think Danny Jansen thought the roof would be open, right? With that eye black on?
He's an eye black 162 kind of guy.
I know he is.
A lot of eye black on the Rays. Now they're playing outdoors for the first time. 2-2. Swing and a ground ball hooked to short. Bichette waits for it, fields it. Long throw over to first. It's rifled over there in time. 2 outs.
How about that arm from Bo Bichette, showing it off deep in the hole, throwing a strike to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first base.
So now 2 outs in the top of the fourth. A fourth inning that's presented by Bet365. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and you can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Speedster Chandler Simpson up to the plate. 2 out, space is empty. Barrios rocks and offers. Simpson takes a fastball for a strike. Left-handed hitter with a slight knee bend. Waggles the bat above his left shoulder. 0-1 pitch down and in.
Billy Hamilton was fun to watch, wasn't he? Wasn't the most gifted guy with the bat, but boy, when he got one, he was fun to watch.
Billy Hamilton, in an era where stolen bases weren't much of a thing, stole over 54 straight years. Swing and a miss there by Simpson on a changeup, 1-2. And Simpson, compared to him in some ways just because of the speed, but also Chandler Simpson, like Hamilton, not a lot of power in his career. Simpson has 1 minor league home run in 250 games in the minors. 1-2. Swing and a fly ball down the right field line, hooking toward foul territory. Vladdy back, a dive from Ernie Clement, and it drops in on the side warning track. Clement slid head first into the side retaining wall, but he's up on his feet again. He gets an applause from the crowd for the effort, and Simpson walks back to the plate, still 1-2.
That could have been one of the best catches I've ever seen. What an attempt from Ernie Clement. Goes crashing into that short wall down that right field foul line. Didn't hit it all that hard, but that is an incredible attempt over there by Ernie Clement.
Clement hands on his knees at second, stretching a little bit as Barrios gets into the set. And with 2 outs, the 1-2 to Chandler Simpson. Rolled over to first base. Guerrero fields it, sprints over to first, and beats Simpson by a couple steps to end the inning. 1-2-3 for Jose Barrios. 4-2 Rays, middle of the fourth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
Breaking news coming 6-5. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Hurts smacks it down the left field line. This one's got a chance. It's good.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. 4-2 the Rays leading the Blue Jays. Bottom of the fourth inning at Rogers Center. Anthony Santander to hit for the Blue Jays. Right on left, here's the pitch from Shane Baz. Low ball one. Santander, Springer, and Varsho. Meat of the Blue Jay order. 3-4-5 up in this bottom of the fourth inning. Baz is 1-0. Swing and a liner, foul. Into the netting down the right field line. Santander reached down and was out in front of that four-seamer at 96.
He was all over that pitch. Shane Baz better be glad that that pitch wasn't up by about 1 or 2 inches.
The 1-1 outside. Well, Santander returning today is 0 for 1. Before he missed those 3 games, though, he was starting to heat up. He was 7 for 22 over the previous 5. That's a .318 average, a double, a homer, and 4 RBIs. 2-1. Outside and high, 3-1.
I think the important thing for me was he just looked better, more comfortable in that batter's box, was making better decisions. The ball was kind of jumping off the bat just a little bit more.
3-1 pitch. Fouled back, reaches up for 96 above the zone. It's a full count. Big bearded switch hitter tucks the bat under his right armpit, adjusting his mostly white but a little bit blue batting gloves. He asks for time from Ramon de Jesus and now steps back in. Tap of the far corner and then the back near corner of the plate for Santander, who brings the bat up to his left shoulder. Payoff pitch. Swing and a foul off the glove of Danny Jansen. It bounces off to the right, and Santander remains up there.
He just looks a little bit more comfortable, doesn't he? Or is it just me?
I think it's true.
I think obviously looking at the stats is important, but I'm just trying to watch him in that batter's box, and he just looks like a different guy.
Payoff pitch. Foul back again. Went down to a knee after the swing. It was 98 over the middle, and he just missed it.
It's a big 2-strike swing, isn't it?
There aren't that many small swings from Anthony Santander, who's tied for the team lead with 5 home runs for the Blue Jays. 3-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat, foul, back behind the plate again. That's going to land just below the feet of the Rays radio broadcast, just off to our left. Santander talking to Danny Jansen for a moment. Wonder if they're like, hey, it's kind of weird. I'm in a Blue Jays jersey. You're in a Rays jersey here. That's not usually how it goes. 3-2 again. This one is lofted foul over the screen near the first base dugout and 10 rows deep into the stands. Lands with a thud in one of the rows. It's 3-2 still.
Shane Baz is just feeding Santander hittable fastballs. That fastball was 97. But it was in the heart of the plate. Let's see if he can finally run into one here.
They were trying to go up. He didn't get it up last time. A third straight 3-2. Swing and a deep fly ball foul off to the right. That fastball was elevated, but Santander somehow got onto it. He was just a little out in front again. Shane Baz has thrown 10 pitches so far to Anthony Santander. Santander has fouled off 6 in a row. Set from the righty. He kicks and deals. Fouled back again.
All fastballs, too.
Yeah, it has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fastballs in a row. And of the 11 pitches, 10 of them have been heaters, 1 changeup.
I mean, that one was 99, so there's some velocity behind it. But
12th pitch of the at-bat. Down and away, ball 4. Have yourself a plate appearance. Anthony Santander with the leadoff walk.
What a take. Went from 99 right down the middle to a pretty good changeup, actually, from Shane Baz just below the strike zone. An incredible at-bat from Anthony Santander.
Gave a lot of information to George Springer. Maybe fatigues Baz a little bit as well as Santander takes his lead off first. And the Rays lead the Blue Jays 4-2 with nobody out in the bottom of the 4th. George Springer in the righty box, and the first pitch is hit on the ground foul behind the back of third base coach Carlos Fablis. 0-1.
The Out-of-Town Scoreboard is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, 100% Canadian owned and operated since 1992. Every Tuesday night, wings are just half price. Visit stlouiswings.com for details. You are welcome.
Couple postponements, unfortunately, today in Major League Baseball. 0-1. Foul back 0-2. Kevin Cash said one of the great things about them coming here, not going to be a rain delay here as the Rays adjust to playing outdoors for the first time in a while. But the weather has impacted 2 games on the slate today. The Orioles and Twins is postponed, as well as the Phillies and Cardinals. 0-2 to Springer. Just outside at 97. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There is an AL East game in action right now in Detroit. It's the Red Sox leading the AL Central leaders in the Detroit Tigers 4-3. That game in the top of the 5th. 1-2. Popped up, foul, first base side. It'll drift out of play into the seats. And the other AL East game today is on the West Coast after the Blue Jays swept the Mariners. It's the Yankees and the Mariners coming up in game 2 of that series, I believe. Pretty sure that one started yesterday. It did. It started with an 11-5 Yankees win yesterday. It'll be Brian Wu against Max Fried today in Seattle. 1-2 again.
Matchup.
Check swing. Pitch was low. Appeal to first. No swing. 2-2. It's a heck of a matchup.
I'd pay to see that matchup.
Fried's ERA. First of all, he's 6-0. And his ERA is 1.05. 4-2 Rays over Blue Jays. Runner on first in the 2-2. Swing and a 1-hopper to third. Backhanded Caminero. Turns, throws to second 1. Toss over to first for a 5-4-3 double play.
That is a heck of a play from Caminero over there. George Springer hit that right on the screws. A little 1-hopper. And then the easy turn for 2 quick outs in this inning. 2 big outs in this inning, too.
Base is empty now for the Blue Jays. Shane Baz can really limit the pitch count after throwing 12 to Anthony Santander. He gets the double play, and here's Dalton Varsho. 2 out, space is empty. Righty's pitch. Downstairs. Other out-of-town scores. Cleveland leads Milwaukee 2-0, bottom 8 in Cleveland. In Atlanta, the Nationals lead the Braves. Or no, a home run by the Braves. Now it's 2-2 in the bottom of the 4th. 1-0 Mets over Pirates in New York. 1-0 to Varsho. Swing and a deep drive. Right field. Hooking toward the line. It's out of here. Line drive homer, Dalton Varsho. 4th home run of the year, and the Blue Jays continue to cut into the deficit. Now 4-3 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. It feels like every time this guy squares one up so far this year, it leaves the yard. He's done it again.
114 miles an hour off the bat. Dalton Varsho squared up that fastball from Shane Baz and hit it on a rope to right field. Turns out home runs are important.
Very much so. First pitch to Ernie Clement, cut on and missed, strike 1. Blue Jays, after falling behind 4-0, have made it 4-3 on the back of 2 home runs. Bichette's 2-run shot and Varsho's solo shot. 0-1 to Ernie Clement. Swing and a liner right side. Fading into the seats, foul. 0-2. Two-strike pitch to Clement. Poked away, foul off to the right.
What a beautiful swing from Dalton Varsho. That might have been his best swing of the season. 98 right down the middle, and he hammered it.
At times, velocity gave him trouble last year. Not so much this year. 0-2 again. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, it doesn't seem like it is.
No.
You can hit that pitch.
It's early, small sample, blah, blah, blah. But 4 home runs already for Varsho. He's chasing down the team lead. The 1-2. Hit on the ground is shortstop. Vacuumed up Taylor Walls. Crow hop and throw to first to end the inning. The Blue Jays homer for a second straight inning. Solo shot from Dalton Varsho cuts into the deficit. It's now 4-3 for the Rays over the Blue Jays as we go to the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Stay plugged in to the pulse of pop culture on the SiriusXM app. From exclusive interviews with today's biggest celebrities,
Demi Moore.
That's Lizzo.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Snoop Dogg.
You know how much I love you, Andy.
to unfiltered takes on what's trending from hosts like Alex Cooper and Andy Cohen.
What is up, Daddy Gang?
Hey, everybody. We are live.
Plus, daily reality TV recaps, star-studded podcasts, and more.
Salma Hayek.
Only Kelly Ripa can ask me these questions.
Keep up with all the latest entertainment buzz in one place. Just search pop culture in the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
An exciting new era has just arrived.
In 2015, Jordan Spieth produced a year for the ages. The Masters, the U.S. Open, the ridiculous putting. Let's revisit the Golden Child's golden season. Listen to 2015, the year of Jordan Spieth. Hosted by yours truly, Colt Knost. And browse the entire catalog of golf originals. Search PGA Tour radio specials on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 5th inning, 4-3. The Rays leading the Blue Jays. Jose Barrios with a breath deals to Brandon Lau. Fouled back, 0-1. 5th inning brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Brandon Lau, Jonathan Aranda, Junior Caminero going to hit this inning. It's actually Lau, then Caminero, then Aranda. 0-1 is hit foul, 0-2. It's on the Sportsnet TV broadcast. Some high-profile spectators today at the ballpark. Looked like Grady Dick and Emmanuel Quickly of the Toronto Raptors were in the building, and there was an empty seat in the middle. So I don't know if R.J. Barrett went to the bathroom or who's filling that spot, but figure probably another Raptor. 0-2. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I see Emmanuel Quickly every single day.
Really? Is there a billboard?
There's this gigantic billboard of him on the Gardner when I'm sitting in traffic, so I get to slowly stare at it.
1-2. Bounce, 2-2. I guess I come the other way when I come on the Gardner. I see a big Reese's ad all the time.
I thought you were going to say you see a big ad of Grady Dick.
I do not. And I'm not going to go there. 2-2. Nobody out. Left-handed hitter Lau has his hands off of his chest. The pitch. Fouled right back. Tips off the top of the netting and falls into the 7th row of seats. Nice catch on the deflection by a fan in a long sleeve shirt. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. In a sec, we'll go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Some pretty interesting Major League Baseball wide news today. 2-2 pitch, hooked foul, still 2-2.
I love that news, by the way. I know where you're going with this.
You know where I'm going with that. Well, then I don't really need to ask your opinion, but I will. We'll get to it in a second. Stop teasing it for the moment. 66 pitches so far for the righty Barrios. Set at the belt. Looking beyond third. Now he kicks and offers. Check swing on a pitch low, and he did go around. Strike 3, says Ramon De Jesus. 1 out. Out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. And news coming today from the commissioner's office that several players and other people around Major League Baseball have been taken off of the permanently ineligible list that prevents them from being elected to the Hall of Fame. And chief among those members removed are Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson. First pitch to Junior Caminero, cut on and missed, strike one. Now, before we get into the opinions, just to get into the nitty-gritty, they can now be elected, but they won't be considered until 2027. 0-1. Bounce to the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike. So, Chris, your thoughts? I think I know.
Well, I've had the pleasure of meeting Pete Rose over the course of my lifetime and my career, and I have to say that I've always been a huge fan of his. I have a pretty large framed signed poster of his.
1-1. Swinging a grounder to third. Barger has it. Throws over to first. 2 down.
So I'm happy for his family. They've been waiting a long time. I've never met Shoeless Joe Jackson, so I can't say that he's a great guy, but I'm happy for his family as well. Obviously, they've been waiting even longer.
Jackson, Rose, everyone pretty much removed from the ineligible list. We're on there due to different allegations and scandals involved gambling on the games. 2 outs in the pitch to Jonathan Aranda. Called strike. 0-1. Rose is back and forth with baseball, well documented. Shoeless Joe Jackson, part of the famous 1919 Chicago Black Sox. 0-1. High and outside, 1-1. I believe several members of that Black Sox team were removed from the ineligible list. But Jackson by far the most notable. 1-1 to Aranda. Foul tip, 1-2. Basically the Veterans Committee who can go back and elect players that wouldn't be on the regular ballot. The classic era, as they call it, earlier portion of baseball history, especially when you're talking about Jackson, that doesn't come through the cycle until 2027. So that is when those two potentially could be up for the vote. 2 down, the 1-2. Hooked foul.
How long can you be on that specific ballot? Is that for eternity?
I think they can keep bringing you up anytime.
Okay. Do you think Pete Rose will be a first ballot
I
guy?
think now that they're eligible, I think Rose and Jackson both go into the Hall of Fame first time. And if the Veterans Committee is listening, put Dave Stieb on that ballot as well. 1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground to first. Fielded deep by Guerrero. He waves off Barrios, jogs to the bag, and ends the inning. Jose Barrios has retired 7 straight, keeping the Blue Jays in it. It's 4-3 Rays, middle of the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sports are all about moments.
One of the most incredible, miraculous finishes we have ever seen.
And you can hear them all.
He scores! Alex Ovechkin! There's a new goal-scoring champion!
As they happen.
Oh my goodness! Shohei Ohtani, a sayonara swing!
Live in the moment.
Rory McIlroy on his knees. He's won the Masters.
With live sports on Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
This is Dave LaGreca, creator of the biggest pro wrestling show on the planet, Busted Open. Don't miss myself and my Hall of Fame cast and crew as we break down every story in and out of the ring and talk to the top names in the business, like the legend himself, The Undertaker.
I'm actually glad to be on a real show.
Catch Busted Open live every day from 9 to noon Eastern on Sirius XM Fight Nation, channel 156, and on the Sirius XM app.
PGA Championship moments on Sirius XM.
At the 2024 PGA Championship at Valhalla, Xander Schauffele's opening round 62 tied a major championship record, and he never looked back.
Xander Schauffele, the winner of the 106th PGA Championship.
Colin Morikawa and Bryson DeChambeau made furious charges, but Xander secured his first major win 2 months before claiming his second. Listen to PGA Championship Radio all week long on Channel 92 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
At Radio Network.
Blue Jays baseball is presented by Crown Rust Protection. Thank you for tuning in tonight to what's been a very entertaining series opener so far. It's the Rays 4, the Blue Jays 3. Bottom of the fifth about to start with Addison Barger in the box for the Blue Jays. The pitch from Shane Baz. Outside, ball one. Big applause for Addison Barger, who was really the star of the Blue Jays sweep in Seattle. He went 6 for 13 in that 3-game series, 3 doubles, a homer, and 5 RBIs. 1-0. Called strike, frozen there by an 81-mile-per-hour knuckle curve, 1-1. In the series finale against Seattle, Barger went all the way up to third in the order and homered. 1-1 pitch in the dirt, 2-1. And pretty awesome for the Bellevue, Washington native to get to do it in front of family. While he grew up a lot in Florida, a lot of his family based in the Pacific Northwest. The 2-1 pitch, fouled back. 95 over the heart of the plate, 2-2.
Well, I think the Blue Jays are ready to finally give him a long look, and I couldn't be happier for him. He deserves it. He's not an established guy yet, obviously, but I think he just looks better, looks more comfortable, and that's really, really important, especially for him.
2-2. Popped up, third base side foul. Long run, Caminero makes the catch on the side warning track, nearly dropped it, and he falls into the netting. And he's stuck in the netting for a moment. I don't know if that was his ear or his necklace or whatever, but a fan helped him get unstuck. And that's the first out of the inning. Nice play from the third baseman, who was playing well off the line, so he had to make a long run back toward third.
I think it was his earring that was caught in that netting, and a fan tried to help him with it. I can't feel good over there.
He's got a dangling earring off of his right ear that got hooked in. Now the pitch to Tyler Heineman, misses low, ball one.
And he's still playing with it down there, trying to touch his ear.
It might be bleeding.
Hopefully he's okay.
One-0. Curve for a strike. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. 4-3 for the Rays. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom 5. 1-1 to Heineman. Hit on the ground and past the dive of the third baseman Caminero through the whole left side. A second hit today for Heineman.
Well, he went the other way in his first at-bat, but I don't think he meant to. I think he was fooled in that first at-bat. This time was a little bit different. Tried to shoot that ball over on that left side. Got it off the end of the bat just a little bit, but you could see him really trying to go the other way with that fastball. Does a good job, finds that hole.
Getting the start tonight with Alejandro Kirk on the bench, potentially available after he took the backswing in the head in Sunday's series finale. Pitch now to Nathan Lucas, misses up top, ball one. Blue Jays did say today before the game, John Schneider specifically said that Kirk had passed all the concussion testing they'd run him through, and that he was potentially available, probably available today off the bench. Just had to go through some activities to make sure. 1-0. Heineman takes off, swinging a foul tip, throw down to second Jansen, and it's dropped by Walls. Heineman is safe. Danny Jansen had Tyler Heineman dead to rights there, but Taylor Walls, looking to tag before he had caught the ball, dropped it. And Heineman has a stolen base.
Well, I was thinking when that play was developing, obviously we have a pretty good view from up here. I was thinking to myself, well, that wasn't a good jump. And Tyler Heineman should have been thrown out by a good 2 steps at least.
I think that was a hit and run, to be honest. Runner on second now. The 1-1 to Lucas is fouled back. Because you're not going to run Heineman all that much. You have a contact hitter like Lucas. I think they were hoping to hit the ground ball to short, where Taylor Walls was vacating to cover the steal. But for Tyler Heineman, it ends up being his 5th career stolen base, 2nd of the season. The 1-2. Poked off the end of the bat. A two-hopper to shortstop. Underhand fielded by Walls, who throws over to first to get Lucas. Heineman up to third base, now 2 outs.
How about Tyler Heineman? 2 for 2 in tonight's ball game. He's hitting .415 now. He's a backup catcher, Ben.
I know, and I mentioned it to him, and he said, hey, it's 30 to 40 at-bats. But it's a great 30 to 40 at-bats. It could be a lot worse. Heineman on third base is the tying run. Bottom of the 5th, 2 outs. 4-3 Rays. Pitch to Bo Bichette. Low ball 1.
And that probably makes it just a little bit easier for John Schneider, Ross Atkins, of course, to take their time with Alejandro Kirk, not rush him back, which is a good thing, obviously.
The 1-0. Outside 2-0. By the way, if Kirk isn't available today, which we never got the official word before the game, and they would need another catcher for any reason, Schneider pointed out Ernie Clement and Michael Stefanik as potential options. They do not want to put Varsho in behind the plate. 2-0. Called strike. Bo bent the knee, decided not to go around on that curveball up top. 2-1.
Well, let's hope that Ernie Clement isn't catching Jeff Hoffman in the 9th inning tonight.
That would be interesting. 2-1 pitch. Outside and low with a fastball, ball 3.
You could tell Shane Baz is being really careful right now with Bo Bichette. Obviously, in his last at-bat, he hit that home run, but
the Rays do have action in their pen. Baz, after 2 great innings, struggled in the 3rd and the 4th. And Manuel Rodriguez, the right-hander, is loosening up right now in right field. 3-1 pitch. Bichette fouls it off to the right. 96, middle of the zone, maybe a little elevated. It's a full count.
You also don't want to be too careful with Bo because Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is standing on deck.
Bichette hit a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning, his 3rd of the year. He's 1 for 2 on the day. With 2 outs, Baz's payoff. Fouled off again. 98 elevated, sent over the screen, back behind home plate.
He's definitely still got some gas in that tank. Like you said, 98 miles an hour with that last fastball.
Just threw his 85th pitch. He threw 83 overall in his last start, although he only went 3 1/3. Another 3-2. Down and away, ball 4. A walk for Bichette, and the Blue Jays have runners on the corners, 2 outs. That's going to bring Kevin Cash out of the dugout, and who would have thought this after the beginning to this start for Shane Baz? 4 strikeouts in 2 scoreless innings. He has trouble in the 3rd and 4th, gives up a hit and a walk in the 5th, and it's going to be a pitching change here in the 5th inning. That's brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 4-3 Rays, runners on the corners, 2 outs, and with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. getting ready to hit, let's go over to today's host, Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Let's check out the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard as we welcome you back here at Baseball Control. Let's start with that Major League Baseball news. If you missed this from the league office earlier today, Commissioner Rob Manfred announcing that the league has removed Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and all 8 band members of the 1919 Chicago Black Sox from the permanently ineligible list. Other people removed include former Phillies president William D. Cox and former New York Giants outfielder Benny Koff. The ruling from Manfred now means that all of these players eventually can be eligible for the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Let's check in with hockey and the Stanley Cup playoffs. Just 1 game on the calendar tonight, Jets at Stars. Dallas leading this series 2-1, entering play this evening. Game 4 underway right now. It is currently 1-0 Stars with about 7 minutes to go in the first period. Mikael Granlund getting the lone goal. Just open the scoring here. You can watch as always on Sportsnet. Last night we had a pair of games, both winners taking 3-1 series leads. First, the Hurricanes grabbing a 5-2 win over the Capitals, while Stuart Skinner and the Oilers blanking the Golden Knights 3-0. Game 5 for the Oilers goes on Wednesday in Vegas. Game 5 for the Hurricanes goes Thursday in Washington. The Leafs, meanwhile, they are off. They get back in action tomorrow. Their second-round series with the Panthers, all knotted up at 2 games apiece. Game 5 will go in Toronto Wednesday evening at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. It will be on Sportsnet and the CBC as usual. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back down to the Rogers Center with the call. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. New pitcher into the game for the Rays is the right-hander Manuel Rodriguez. He comes on in a big spot, first and third for the Blue Jays, 2 outs. And with a 4-3 lead for the Rays, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up to the plate. Vladdy 0 for 2 on the day. Right-hander Rodriguez deals, and the first pitch is high, or at least called high. Looked pretty good. It's ball 1. 20th appearance of the year for Rodriguez. Has an ERA below 2.5 in 18 1/3 innings. His 1-0. Swing and a miss. Tied up Guerrero with a 97-mile-per-hour sinker, 1-1.
And that sinker had a ton of movement. Almost looked like it started on the inner third and ended up way off the plate underneath the bat of Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
1-1. Outside, 2-1. Right-hander Rodriguez is from Mexico. Played professionally in Mexico, 2014 to 2016. Was the Mexican League Rookie of the Year in 2015. 2-1. Little bouncer back to the mound. Picked up by Rodriguez. Underhand flip to first to end the inning. No runs for the Blue Jays. No runs on 1 hit, 2 left. 4-3 Rays after 5. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Insulation that does more than keep you warm? That's Rock Wool Stone Wool. Fire resistant, soundproof, moisture repellent, built to handle what other insulations can't. Whether it's for a reno, a new build, or the peace and quiet you've been dreaming of, Rock Wool Insulation delivers serious performance where it counts. Insulation with a reputation. Get it where the smart builders shop at Timber Mart, Canada's building center.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
It's time to kickstart spring at TSC. Discover top brands to live it up outdoors. Shop gardening tools, patio lights, furniture, and more. And split purchases into 6 interest-free easy pay payments. We got what you need to get your green thumbs going. Light up your nights. Have some fun. Go on a camping adventure with Coleman. Crank up your playlist with Bose. And show everyone why you're the grill master with Weber. Make the most of spring. Shop now at tsc.ca. Exciting offers every day.
Hey, this is Kevin Gosman. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the 6th inning, brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. 4-3 Rays over the Blue Jays. Jose Barrios to Cameron Meisner, and the first pitch lined out to right field, sinking and down on 1 bounce in front of George Springer for a leadoff single. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer. Tom Young and Christian Chiniti, our technical directors. Impressive for Barrios to get into this 6th inning. Didn't look like he would pitch into it after he gave up 4 runs in the 3rd. But he's put up back-to-back scoreless frames. Ready's pitch to Jose Caballero is hit softly toward right field. Ernie Clement catches the pop-up off to his left in shallow right on the turf. 1 out.
Well, Jose Barrios hasn't had his best stuff tonight. We saw that pretty early on in this start. The fastball command hasn't really been there. The changeup, the slurve, pretty much everything is kind of working against him, but he's been able to grind through this start. Yes, he's given up those 4 runs, but he's given his team a chance to win, and that's really the most important thing right now in the top of the 6th.
There is action in the Blue Jays pen. Mason Fluharty is starting to loosen up. But Barrios only on 77 pitches. He'll face off with the switch-hitting shortstop Taylor Walls. Runner on first, 1 out, and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Slurve on the inner half, 0-1. Cameron Meisner on first base gets some instruction from first base coach Michael Johns. Meisner's stolen 3 bases this year without being caught. 0-1. Swing and a deep foul fly ball into the second deck of seats down the right field line, 0-2.
And Meisner at first base is getting a big lead, a big secondary. So you can bet he's at least thinking about taking second here.
The Rays lead the American League in stolen bases, 47 of them. Blue Jays in 9th with 26 coming into today. 0-2. Outside. The amazing thing about the Rays, they're taken off that often, and they've actually been pretty efficient. Only been caught 10 times. Blue Jays, who have 21 fewer stolen bases coming into today, have been caught 9 times. 1-2. Down and in, gets away from Heineman by a couple inches. He was popping up to look at Meisner, but Meisner didn't go anywhere. 2-2.
Meisner actually took 2 or 3 hard steps and then decided to put the brakes on. I'm wondering if he didn't have his footing or just didn't get a good jump on Jose Barrios.
The 2-2. In the dirt, sliding block to the right by Heineman, full count.
We talk a lot about how good Alejandro Kirk is back there, but I really like Tyler Heineman back there too. He frames well, he blocks well. So of course, hitting .415.
He's thrown out half the runners who have tried to steal against him this year.
He has.
And the defense is the main reason they took Heineman. Step off throw to first. Meisner dives back in, but he took a step towards second before putting the brakes on and making his way back to first. Well, like you were saying, I mean, Heineman can really handle a staff, and I think that's what ended up winning the competition for him in spring over Bethancourt and Sanchez. Step off again, throw over again, and a dive back again by Meisner.
It's disappointing to me that it's taken this long for him to get a solidified backup role. I mean, he's 34 years old, and this is really his first full season in the big leagues, I think, right?
Yeah, pretty much. 3-2. Meisner leaves. Pitch is outside a ball, and so the throw down to second doesn't matter. Bichette does not slap on a tag. It's a walk to make it first and second, 1 out. 4-3 for the Rays over the Blue Jays, and I think Toronto anxious to keep it at a 1-run game. So they're going to go into their bullpen. John Schneider points with his left hand to left field, calling on Mason Fluharty. A pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Jose Barrios out after 5 1/3. 4-3 Rays. Runners on first and second, 1 out, top of the 6th. With Fluharty jogging in, let's go back to today's host. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben and Chris. Welcome back inside Baseball Control. Show Ali here with you. Let's check out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. A couple minutes to go in the first period in Dallas, where the Stars are taking on the Jets in the second round. Dallas still leading 1-0 thanks to Granlund. You can check out this game, watch it on Sportsnet and the CBC. We also have the PWHL playoffs going on right now. Montreal getting an OT winner on Sunday in quadruple overtime to win the longest game in PWHL history. That knotted that series against Ottawa at 1 game apiece. Game 3 is on right now. The third period just underway. No score in that game, 0-0. So maybe we're on our way to another OT classic. Elsewhere, the Toronto Scepters will try and stave off elimination and force a winner-take-all Game 5 against the Minnesota Frost, who entered play up 2-1 in the best-of-5 series. Game 4 goes tomorrow night in Minnesota. And in the world of UFC, for the MMA fans out there, UFC 315 just wrapped up in Montreal this past weekend. We have some names for the main card for UFC 317, which is taking place in just a few weeks in Vegas. First, for the vacant lightweight title, which was vacated by Islam Makhachev, Charles Oliveira will take on Ilia Topuria in the main event, while the co-main event will see Alexandre Pantoja defending the flyweight title against Kai Kara France. And for UFC 319, that'll go in Chicago in August. Dricus du Plessis will take on Khamzat Kamaev in the main event. DDP will look to defend his middleweight belt. It'll be Kamaev's first fight in America since September of 2022. Blue Jays baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action at the Rogers Center. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Show. Southpaw Mason Fluharty into the ball game, going left on left with Travis Jankowski. One out, runners on first and second, top six. First pitch, cut on and missed. Jankowski tried to hold up but couldn't on the sweeper outside, 0-1. 4-3, the Rays lead the Blue Jays. For Fluharty, his 16th appearance of the year, 3-0 with a 1.76 ERA. 2 looks at second and the 0-1. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Cutter sweeper is the mix for the lefty Fluharty. Everything moves to the glove side. He kicks and offers. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
And that is a good sweeper, too. Very early in his big league career, he was trying to do too much. He didn't really have command of that sweeper, but when he figured it out, I mean, he's almost been unhittable.
His 1-2 pitch. Poked foul. Jankowski leaning over the plate to reach that pitch outside and rolled it to the Blue Jays on deck circle. Still 1-2.
And you can see just how uncomfortable Travis Jankowski is with that sweeper. That swing there, kind of just trying to stay alive, trying to foul that baseball off.
Another 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Through the cutter outside, Jankowski chased, 2 down.
It's unreal how unhittable he's been over the last few weeks. Jankowski really had no shot hitting that cutter that was elevated up and away. Big strikeout for him.
Veteran Jankowski shaking his head after that swing, walks back to the dugout. And Danny Jansen comes up with 2 on and 2 out. 4-3 Rays, top of the 6th. Lefty Fluharty has fared better against right-handed hitting this year than left-handed hitting. He throws a left-on-right pitch here to Danny Jansen. Swing and a miss. Snap throw over to first, and they have the runner in a rundown. Walls in between first and second. Guerrero to Clement, back to Guerrero, applying the tag. No, they missed him, and a run comes in to score. Now Bichette's going to apply the tag, and that will do it for the inning. Meisner came all the way around from second to home, and the Blue Jays can't believe it. They think they tagged Walls way earlier. Paul Clements disagreed, and that allowed a run to score. Now John Schneider's going to walk out, and you wonder if the Blue Jays are going to think about a challenge here. They had the runner Walls hung up between first and second. Guerrero reached to tag him, and the ball popped out of his glove. So the play continued, and Meisner came all the way around to score, starting at second base. It's a pickoff for Fluharty, and that's going to do it for the inning. The Rays, in a roundabout way, get 1 on 1 hit. They leave no one on. It's 5-3 Tampa Bay, middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
NASCAR's biggest stars.
Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano,
Kyle Larson return to one of its most historic tracks.
Jeff Gordon wins the final race at North Wilkesboro
with $1 million on the line.
$1 million, baby!
It's the NASCAR All-Star Race from North Wilkesboro Speedway.
He wins the $1 million.
Sunday nights, 8 Eastern on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90, in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
This is Mike Farron from Power Alley. When you work together as long as former general manager Jim Duquette and I have.
5 years.
13. Regardless, we know everything about each other, like my favorite city. New York. Chicago. My favorite food.
Hot dog with lots of ketchup.
Gross. My favorite musician.
Billy Joel.
Somehow even more gross. Jim, what do you actually know about me?
You love baseball, just like me.
Join us for baseball talk and apparently very little else on Power Alley, weekdays 10 a.m. Eastern, MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Well said, Mitch.
It's Mike.
This is John Paul Morosi. On the SiriusXM original podcast, The Road to Cooperstown, I sit down with Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt.
I spent all my time trying to be the best that I could be in front of the Philly fans. So there you might say Philly fans helped drive me.
The Road to Cooperstown airs Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the SiriusXM app. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
No balls and one strike to count on Anthony Santander. 5-3 Rays, bottom of the fifth, and the pitch from Manuel Rodriguez hit foul, 0-2. Thanks for tuning in tonight alongside Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Real interesting play to end the top of the sixth inning. We'll get to it in just a sec. First the 0-2 to Santander. High and outside, ball one. Last inning, first and second, 2 outs. Mason Fluharty in. Threw a pitch home to Heineman. Heineman popped up and threw behind the back runner, the runner at first, Taylor Walls. 1-2 to Santander. Called strike three. Taylor Walls was caught clearly between first and second, so he gets himself into a rundown. Vladdy throws to Ernie Clement and back to Vladdy. As this is happening, the lead runner, Cameron Meisner, takes off from second, seeing that everyone is focused on Taylor Walls. As Guerrero gets the ball back and Meisner is rounding third, Guerrero tags Walls, the runner they have hung up, and the ball pops out of his glove. First pitch to George Springer, called a strike, 0-1. So because the ball popped out, the tag does not get Walls out. Meisner comes in to score, and although they tag Walls moments later, cost the Blue Jays a run. Next pitch low to Springer, 1-1. So in a roundabout way, that's all to say it's now 5-3 for the Rays. 1 out, bases empty, bottom six. The 1-1. Inside, 2-1.
And John Schneider came out to talk to first base umpire Paul Clemens about the call, what happened over there. Obviously, he can't see what that call is or why that call is made.
2-1. Swing and a fly ball left field. Running back Simpson just in front of the track. He makes the catch, backpedaling onto the dirt. 2 outs.
But I guess my question would be, is Taylor Walls out of the baseline? And no, we had this conversation off air in between innings, but that's what I would have asked Paul Clemens, the first base umpire, if I was John Schneider. Now, I don't think John Schneider asked that question. He probably just asked, did Taylor Walls swipe at the ball, knock it out with that bare hand? And that was that.
First pitch to Dalton Varsho outside, ball one. I mean, the Jays clutching at straws no matter what they ask there. I mean, it was not hit out intentionally by Walls, and it wasn't a tag. I didn't think he was so far really off the line. 1-0 pitch is ripped foul by Varsho, 1-1.
Well, I think if you're clutching at straws, that's the question you ask.
Yeah. So it's 5-3. Rays get their first run since the third inning on that play. Blue Jays working from behind by 2 again. 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Toronto was down 4-2 in the fourth inning when Varsho stepped up the last time. He hit a solo homer on a line drive over the shorter part of the wall in right field to make it then 4-3, now 5-3 for the Rays. Righty Manuel Rodriguez sets on the first base side of the rubber. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. 1-2-3 inning from the righty reliever with a pair of punch-outs. We go to the seventh. Rays up 5-3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Are you ready for some football? On Wednesday, May 21st, gear up for football season with the George Springer Replica Football Jersey Giveaway presented by TD. Rush to the ballpark because this giveaway is available to the first 15,000 fans at Rogers Center. It's Wednesday night. Lights up. Let's go. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Join us for Cricket Day at the Park, presented by TD, Saturday, May 31st. Arrive early to receive your Blue Jays Cricket Warm-Up Jacket giveaway, presented by TD. Created in collaboration with Cricket Canada. Don't miss out on being a part of the Cricket Day spectacle at Rogers Center. Find your seats at BlueJays.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Way back, and Jimenez has done it again.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Former Blue Jay Danny Jansen batting for the Rays to start the 7th inning at Rogers Center. 5-3, the Rays lead the Blue Jays in the series opener. Mason Fluharty's pitch down and in. Ball 1. Second inning of work for Fluharty, who was on for the last 2 outs of the 6th. Struck out Travis Jankowski. Tyler Heineman helped pick off a base runner, although a run scored on that play. 1-0. Check swing, called strike. The 7th inning is brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Left on right, the 1-1. Swing and a high fly ball. Deep left field, and Danny Jansen has homered in Toronto. Second of the year for Jansen, and the Rays extend their lead now 6-3, Tampa Bay.
Well, Mason Fluharty has thrown a lot of good sweepers over the last 3 or 4 weeks, but that one right there was a little spinner over the middle of the plate, and Danny Jansen almost looked like he was expecting it. He was right on that pitch, and he hammered it into the Blue Jays bullpen out in left field.
Jansen getting a tunnel of high fives in the Rays dugout. 6-3 Tampa Bay now. Nobody out. Top of the 7th. And the pitch here to Chandler Simpson. Corners in. First pitch called a strike. First home run for Jansen since the 2nd week of April. That's his 7th RBI on the year. 0-1. Hit off the end of the bat, looped down the left field line into the seats. 0-2. Simpson 1 for 3 today, had an important double in that 4-run third. 0-2 pitch. Poked to the left side on the ground. Picked up Barger, rifles a throw to first in time for the out. One of the faster runners and one of the harder throwers in baseball matched up, and Barger beat Simpson that time.
Well, a lot of the times when Addison Barger is playing third base, he'll zip that ball across the diamond, and it's not really needed. A lot of third basemen kind of just flip it, but that one right there, that was needed. Like you said, Chandler Simpson, one of the faster guys in all of Major League Baseball.
So 1 out after the 5-3 force out, and the pitch to Brandon Lau. Outside, ball 1. Ernie Clement told me a couple weeks back, Barger throws hard, but it's not tough to catch because he throws a very true baseball. Straight backspin, no hook or tail on any of his throws. 1-0. Swing and a miss.
Maybe he won't be a good pitcher. If he ever has to come in, if he ever has to come into a ball game, he might be throwing 95 miles an hour, but it might be straight as an arrow.
I'd love to see it. Left on left, the 1-1 to Lau. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, takes it high. 2 balls, 1 strike. In a second, we'll go back to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Some change in the score line in the game between the Red Sox and Tigers in Detroit. 2-1 pitch. Popped up foul, right back behind home plate into the seats. 2-2. In Detroit, after the Tigers led 4-3 from the 5th on in the bottom of the 6th, Javier Baez on a big resurgence this year. Hit a 3-run homer, his 4th of the year, to make it 6-4 for the Tigers. 2-2. Lau takes outside, ball 3.
Who's a bigger surprise, Javi Baez or George Springer?
Javi Baez.
Yeah.
Javi Baez hit like $150 last year.
And he hasn't been great for a few years now, right?
Yeah, and they're playing him at third and center field. And he's having one of his best offensive seasons in a while. 3-2. Popped up, back of third. Long run, Barger onto the left field turf, into foul territory to make the catch. It looked like a couple different times Barger was going to be able to slow up, but that ball just kept traveling and traveling and traveling. He got under it to make the play for the last out that Mason Fluharty records in this game, with 2 outs in the top of the 7th, and the Rays up 6-3. We have a pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 6-3 Rays, 2 outs top of the 7th. Chad Green about to enter. Let's go back to our host, Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Let's continue checking on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Hey, I know many of you are fans of getting farm system updates, so let's go down to minor league baseball and check in at the single A level. The Blue Jays' number 2 prospect, Trey Yesavage, was in action tonight. He went 5 innings. He allowed 2 earned runs on 4 hits, no walks, alongside 12 strikeouts. He has now struck out 55 batters in just 33 1/3 innings pitched. He has an ERA of 2.43. So I would imagine a promotion to a higher level of the minor leagues will be in store for Yesavage in the not-too-distant future. Quick check on the Stanley Cup playoffs on our 1 game on the calendar, Jets at Stars. Dallas leading this series 2-1 entering play. Game 4 is underway right now. The first period is in the books, so this game is in the first period intermission. The Stars still leading 1-0 thanks to a goal by Mikael Granlund. You can watch the intermission or the second period when it resumes on Sportsnet and the CBC. In the NBA, the playoffs in full swing as well. And tonight, a pair of games. First, the Pacers will try to eliminate the top-seeded Cavaliers in Game 5. Indiana coming into this game holding a 3-1 series lead. Right now, Game 5 is underway. Less than a minute to go in the third quarter. And the Pacers, after trailing for much of this game, have taken a lead. 83-71 they lead. Again, this game, if the Pacers win it, will have them moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. You can watch the fourth quarter on Sportsnet 360. Later on tonight, the Nuggets and Thunder will go head-to-head in Game 5. This series tied at 2 games apiece. Tip-off goes in about half an hour. Blue Jays baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back down to the Rogers Center. Here, Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Chad Green on the hill. The veteran former New York Yankee pitches for the 19th time this season for the Blue Jays. A 3.63 ERA for Chad Green in 17 1/3 innings pitched. 2 outs, bases empty. 6-3 Rays, top of the 7th. And the pitch to Junior Caminero. Called a strike. Dropped the slider in on the outside corner. Mixes that slider with a 4-seam fastball that will live in the mid-90s. He kicks and offers. Down and away with the slider. 2-1, or pardon me, 1-1.
He's been throwing a lot of sliders lately. Really relying on that pitch, especially against right-handed hitters.
It's been the better of his 2 main pitches. 1-1. Outside 2-1. At least in terms of results, 192 average, 270 against the 4-seamer. However, a lot of the big damage has been done against the slider for the 6 home runs he's allowed. 2-1. Hooked on the ground is shortstop. Deep. It's backhanded by Bichette. Long throw to first, right on the money to end the inning. Leadoff home run by Danny Jansen lengthens out that Rays lead. Now 6-3 Tampa Bay at the 7th inning stretch in Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Guess who just bundled their home and auto with Desjardins Insurance?
Well, look at you, all grown up and saving money.
Yes, I am.
Mom told you to do it, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Switch and you could save up to 35% on home insurance when you bundle home and auto. Desjardins Insurance. Here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Springer started right, coming in, leaps and makes the catch full stretch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
New pitcher into the game for the Tampa Bay Rays as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning at Rogers Center. It's the Rays 6th and the Jays 3. Pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Left-hander Garrett Clevenger on the hill. Starts with Ernie Clement. Here's the pitch. Foul back, 0-1. A herky-jerky, funky lefty. Clevenger features a slider, a mid-90s sinker, a sweeper, a high-90s four-seamer, and once or twice this year, a cutter. 0-1. Swing and a high fly ball. Deep left field. Simpson, warning track, wall. It's out of here. First of the year for Ernie Clement. The Blue Jays leave the yard for the third time today. They're not going away quietly. It's 6-4 for the Rays. No outs in the 7th.
Ernie Clement had 12 home runs last year, and we're in the middle of May, and he still didn't have one. That's got to feel good for him. Clement gets a cutter right down Broadway, and he hammers that thing into the bullpen in left field.
Jacket on for Clement, 6-4 game, and Addison Barger takes strike one.
Jacket's a little bit big on him.
Just a little bit. 0-1. Bouncer to third base, charging in Caminero. Glove, snap throw to first, beats the sprinting Barger. And there's one out. So Garrett Clevenger, a third rounder by the Orioles in 2015 out of Oregon, traded to the Phillies. Pitched one game with the Phillies, traded to the Dodgers in a 3-team deal that actually involved the Rays, then traded from the Dodgers to the Rays. Has dealt with a torn ACL, but this year he is back and he is one of the top guys in this Tampa Bay Ray pen. He might be their most effective guy after Pete Fairbanks.
Well, he's having a really good season coming into the ball game. Before that home run, he had a 1.80 ERA in 16 ball games. And then I go ahead and I look at the strikeout numbers to innings pitched. 19 strikeouts in 15 innings. That means he's got nasty stuff.
Kyle Snyder, the pitching coach, has clearly seen something early on, so he goes out to talk to his reliever, Garrett Clevenger. Snyder, a former Royal and Red Sox, part of that 2007 World Series winning Red Sox team.
Ernie Clement's looking at the iPad in the dugout. What do you think he's looking at?
Whether he pimped it well. No, he's probably looking at that pitch. It was a cutter, which Clevenger doesn't throw a ton, but he threw two right away to Clement. And it resulted in an Ernie Clement homer. Mound meeting over. Tyler Heineman, the switch hitting catcher, turns around to bat right for the first time today. He's 2 for 2 on the day. 6-4 Rays, 1 out, bottom 7. The pitch. Called a strike. Heineman started to swing, held up, because that pitch looked pretty high, but Clevenger benefits from the Ramon de Jesus call. With the 2 hits, Heineman now batting .415 on the year. He's got 4 doubles, including 1 today, and 1 homer. The 0-1. Popped up, foul, first base side, out of play.
Clevenger's got a really good arm. Like you said, upper 90s fastball, mid to upper 90s. But I think the most important thing is when you watch him, you realize that he's really deceptive. And when you combine the deception with that upper 90s fastball, he's almost unhittable.
His 0-2. Check swing, pitch down and in, appeal to first. He went around, says Paul Clemens, and that's a strikeout of Tyler Heineman. Now 2 outs.
Tyler Heineman didn't like that call. Slowly walking back to that dugout. We'll get a slow motion replay here. I'm anxious to see if he actually did go. I didn't think he went.
It's a frustrating at bat overall for Heineman, which started with a missed call for strike 1. Lefty Garrett Clevenger, though, has retired back-to-back hitters after Ernie Clement homered. So the Blue Jays will go to a right-handed hitter off the bench, replacing Nathan Lucas with Miles Straw. Lucas's day ends at 0 for 2 and a pair of groundouts. 2 outs, bases empty. The pitch to Straw. Call to strike. Pitching change to Clevenger, by the way, brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Big lefty hurler, hunched over, now stands tall in the set. His 0-1. Swing and a miss. That cutter seemed to tie up Miles Straw. It's 1-2.
It's a pretty good one. Didn't throw a good one to Ernie Clement. That's the pitch he hit out, but that last one was very good.
0-2 pitch. In the dirt, ball 1. Straw on the season batting .284, OPS in the high 600s. Had some big days in that Seattle series. Came up with an RBI hit in the second on Sunday. 1-2 pitch. Lined right field. Going back Jankowski, and he makes the catch to end the inning. The Blue Jays strike for 1 thanks to Ernie Clement's first home run of the year. It's a 6-4 ball game in favor of the Rays as we head to the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Find out who will lift the FA Cup trophy this weekend on SiriusXM FC. Crystal Palace are 90 minutes away from their first FA Cup title.
Eze into the area, right-footed shot, slams it in!
In their path is a dangerous Manchester City side, keen on salvaging their season.
Oh, Kevin De Bruyne, that is simply sensational.
It's the FA Cup final, Palace versus City, Saturday at 11:30 Eastern on SiriusXM FC, channel 157 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game, and when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have it taken, don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, this show has never changed. We're just back home, and it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
Jays fans, this is George Springer, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
George Springer, airborne, snatches it out of the sky.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Top of the 8th inning alongside Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. 6-4, the Rays lead the Blue Jays in the series opener. Still Chad Green in the top of the 8th. He finished off the 7th, and his first pitch foul tipped by Jonathan Aranda, 0-1. New left fielder for the Blue Jays after Miles Straw came in to hit for Nathan Lucas. He remains in his defensive spot in left. 0-1. called a strike. It was dropped by Heineman, but it clipped the zone at the knees anyway. 0-2.
I'm sure Jonathan Aranda didn't appreciate that call, even though that was clearly a strike.
Credit to Ramon de Jesus. Usually it's called a ball if it's borderline and it's dropped. 0-2 pitch. Hit high in the air, deep toward the left field corner. Circling over there. It's caught by Miles Straw. 1 out. Let's take a look at the Bet365 standings. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. No finals in the AL East yet, except for the fact that Baltimore's game against Minnesota today postponed. So the standings haven't changed since this game started, but we'll get to them in just a moment. First, the pitch to Cameron Meisner. Left-handed hitter takes strike one at the knees. Leading the division, New York Yankees 24-17. They'll play later against Seattle. The Red Sox in a tie right now with the Tigers are 22-21. 3 games back of the Yankees. 0-1. Meisner takes in the dirt. Blue Jays entered today 20-20, 4.5 back of the division. With the Rays at 18-22, 5.5 back. 6.5 back. And the Orioles 15-24, 8 back. 1-1 pitch, high, 2-1.
So you're saying that AL East is up for grabs?
I think so. The Yankees have been the best team, but they're not running away. 2-1 outside, 3-1. Green kicks and deals. Swing and a miss. 96 elevated, makes it a full count. Meisner with a single in the 6th came around to score on that awkward back pick by Heineman where there was an error in between first and second. Now the 3-2 called. Strike 3. 96 at the knees. 2 down.
Meisner didn't like that call. It might have been a little bit below that strike zone. He was slowly backing away. Maybe took 4 or 5 steps reversing to that dugout, but it's a really nice pitch at the bottom of that strike zone.
2 down, nobody aboard. Pitch to Jose Caballero is hit in the air, left center field. Racing back, Varsho on the warning track, slides, and he got it. Crashing into the scoreboard out in left. Dalton Varsho flips a souvenir to a fan after a fantastic catch. 1-2-3 inning for Chad Green. Keeps it 6-4 for the Rays. Middle of the 8th. Bichette Guerrero Santander to bat when we come back. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Make no payments for 12 months with the Timber Mart Deferred Payment Program. Apply for a Timber Mart project card today and pay later, 12 months later. Financing provided by Fairstone Financial Inc. Conditions apply. Ask in-store for details or apply at timbermart.ca. Locally owned, proudly Canadian. Timber Mart is Canada's building center.
Which loony dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with swagger and style? You could be a Rizzy Glizzy. Maybe you're an architect stacking your loony dogs up high. Do you walk into the ballpark with the confidence of an MVD? Then you're the most valuable dogger. This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. No matter which loony dogger you are, you'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the ballpark. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Every Tuesday home game. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
It's time to kickstart spring at TSC. Discover top brands to live it up outdoors. Shop gardening tools, patio lights, furniture, and more. And split purchases into 6 interest-free easy pay payments. We got what you need to get your green thumbs going. Light up your nights. Have some fun. Go on a camping adventure with Coleman. Crank up your playlist with Bose. And show everyone why you're the grill master with Weber. Make the most of spring. Shop now at tsc.ca. Exciting offers every day.
Hey, this is Bo Bichette. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Scary, spooky, hilarious, crazy, scary, spooky.
Bottom of the 8th inning. Rays 6, Blue Jays 4. Crunch time at Rogers Center. Bo Bichette leading off against a new pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays, Edwin Uceda. Hard-throwing right-hander, kicks and offers, and the first pitch is a breaking ball hit foul. Pardon me, that's the fastball hit back foul, 0-1. Uceda, mid-90s on the four-seamer, but throws a changeup most often, also has a cutter. Righty's got a .432 ERA entering this appearance. His 18th of the year. 0-1. Called a strike. Pitch looked a hair outside, but that's a coin flip. 0-2. The pitch to Bichette. Low ball 1. Uceda really broke out last year. A 1.5 ERA in 30 appearances with the Rays. Picked up 5 saves in 5 tries, and he punched out 57 in under 42 innings. The 1-2. Fouled away.
He's got a really funky motion, kind of a sidearm delivery, but it's almost like a short arm sidearm. Probably pretty tough to pick up, and then he's got a really good changeup on top of that.
Struggled out of the gates this year, gave up runs in 4 of his first 6 appearances, has only allowed runs in 1 appearance since. 1-2. Outside 2-2. The maybe concerning thing if you're the Rays is this guy punched out everyone last year. This year he's striking out fewer than a batter in inning. His 2-2. Bounce back foul.
It's funny you say that because that's the first thing I looked up. Obviously a lot of strikeouts last year. That strikeout rate was very high. And then you look at this year and you're probably wondering, I'm sure the Rays are wondering, what's going on? Why is that different? Why is he striking out less guys this season?
Righty set, glove at his belt. 2-2 to Bichette. Poked out to shallow center. Coming in, Meisner. Caballero going back to second baseman. Caballero makes the catch. 1 out.
I mean, he's not the same guy as he was last year, but he's still funky, he's still deceptive, and he's still got pretty good stuff.
In talking to Neil Solondz on the Rays radio broadcast, he said sometimes he comes out, he looks exactly like the guy last year, stuff is sharp, and sometimes this year he's just been off. It hasn't been as consistent. He struck out the side recently in an appearance against the Phillies. First pitch to Vladdy outside, ball 1, but then in 2 appearances since then didn't strike out anyone and gave up 3 runs.
Being a consistent reliever is really difficult to do. I mean, we've seen that time after time.
1-0. Outside 2-0.
You'll see guys deal 1 year and then they'll have a 4.5 or a 5 ERA the next year, and you're wondering, is this even the same guy? It is the same guy. It's just being a reliever in the big leagues is really difficult.
2-0 to Vlad. Called a strike, looked about half a ball off the plate, 2-1. So 6-4, the Rays lead. Now their third reliever out of the pen. Already Rodriguez and Clevenger have pitched today. Uceda in the game now. His 2-1. Outside, 3 balls, 1 strike. Blue Jays down 6-4. They have scored at least 6 runs in each of their last 4 games. 3-1 pitch. Outside, ball 4, a walk for Guerrero.
That's a very good take from Vlad. That ball was about a half a ball off the plate outside. You could see him kind of antsy just a little bit, but a good take and a good walk, and now that tying run is in that batter's box.
By the way, the pitching change to Uceda is brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Runner on first, 1 out. Pitch to Santander. Called a strike. A walk and 2 strikeouts today for Anthony Santander. 1 swinging, 1 looking. A 1. Outside. Two relievers heating up in the Blue Jay pen in left field. Toronto trailing 6-4. 1 out, 1 on, bottom 8. The pitch. Swing and a fly ball. Right field. Hanging up, Jankowski near the foul line, makes the catch and throws it back into second. That one off the end of the bat for Santander, and there are 2 down.
Well, that was a changeup from Uceda. You could see Anthony Santander out in front just a little bit, and that's why he got it off the end of the bat. He was almost on that pitch, just a hair out in front.
As George Springer comes up representing the tying run, 2 pitchers continue to warm. It's Jimmy Garcia and Braden Fisher throwing in left. Looks like Fisher, if it stays 6-4, Garcia, if the Blue Jays can tie it up. Pitch to George Springer, down and away, ball 1. Springer is 0 for 3 today. A strikeout, a ground ball double play, and a fly out to left. He's ready for the 1-0. Check swing, outside, 2-0.
This is a big pitch right here. Sitting dead red. See if he gets that fastball right down the middle.
Springer tied for the team lead. 5 home runs. 2-0 pitch. Low ball 3. Didn't get the fastball. Instead, Uceda tried to entice him with a change and missed.
I've said this a lot over the last couple of years. A 2-0 changeup is one of the best pitches in baseball, if not the best. But you have to throw for a strike. You can't fall behind 3-0.
Uceda kicks and offers. Springer taken all the way, takes well outside, ball 4. 2 walks issued in the inning for Edwin Uceda. The Blue Jays put the tying run on base and bring the go-ahead run up to the plate. Kyle Snyder is out to the mound to talk to Edwin Uceda before Dalton Varsho hits. Varsho with 4 home runs on the year, including his 4th inning solo shot tonight.
Well, Kyle Schneider, I'm sure, is just calming Uceda down, trying to go over a game plan, maybe going over the scouting report of Dalton Varsho, just reminding him of certain things, but most importantly, telling him, hey, throw strikes here. We can't walk this guy. We can't throw something right down the middle. Throw a good strike down and away and get us back to that dugout.
Something to note with Uceda, this year he has struggled against left-handed hitters like Dalton Varsho. Lefties are 10 for 25 off of him, a .400 average with 2 of the 3 home runs he's allowed. First and second, 2 down. 6-4 Rays and the pitch. Swing and a high fly ball. Deep right field. Near the pole. It's gone! Off the front face of the 500 level, Dalton Varsho gives the Blue Jays their first lead tonight, 7-6 Toronto. They waited until the last moment, 2 outs in the 8th, to come up with the big hit. It's the Blue Jays' 4th homer of the game.
Well, whatever scouting report they went over, it wasn't the right one.
Pitch to Ernie Clement, called his strike, 0-1.
How about Dalton Varsho? Man.
If you don't like that, you don't like Blue Jays baseball. 3-run homer to take the lead in the bottom of the 8th. 0-1. Clement swats it down the right field line. This is trouble, and that's down for a base hit. Bouncing into the sidewall. Clement scampering up to second, head first dive. He's got a 2-out double.
Well, if you don't like 4th deck homers and broken bat doubles, do you even like Blue Jays baseball?
2 of the more opposite hits you'll see in the game of baseball, back to back. Dalton Varsho with one of the deeper home runs you'll ever see at this ballpark. And then Ernie Clement with the bloop double. 7-6, the Blue Jays lead. 2 outs in the pitch to Addison Barger inside, ball 1.
And just like that, Braden Fisher sits down and Jeff Hoffman continues to warm up, gets loose.
Even Jimmy Garcia sits down. Blue Jays with the lead. 1-0. Called strike, 1-1. So Toronto has 7 runs tonight. They scored 29 over their previous 4 games. That's 36 runs in a 5-game span, over 7 per game. 1-1, high and outside, 2-1. Clement on second, Uceda in the set. Righties 2-1. Swing and a miss by Barger, 2-2.
4 home runs tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays. How about that?
Only 7 hits needed to score 7 runs. 1 from Bichette, 2 from Varsho, 1 from Clement. 2-2. Outside, ball 3.
All smiles in that Blue Jays dugout right now. George Springer dancing around, Hunter Mentz, the assistant hitting coach, talking to Dalton Varsho, all smiles. Can't blame him, though.
Payoff pitch. Foul tip, strike 3. The Blue Jays take the lead in the bottom of the 8th inning on a 3-run shot from Dalton Varsho. We go to the 9th. It's 7-6 Toronto. Jeff Hoffman in the ball game next, looking for a save. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The PGA Championship is on Sirius XM.
Yes! Are you kidding me? What a shot.
Follow all the action on Channel 92.
He made it! My goodness! Rory McIlroy!
Our roster of experts discuss how Rory McIlroy will follow up his masterful performance.
Rory's going to win a second major.
I put him as a favorite this week because of the golf course and how much he likes it.
Coverage of the PGA Championship from Quail Hollow Club begins Thursday at 2 Eastern on Channel 92 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
Baseball is back. It's former general manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former big league GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
The world's most thrilling league is now in the palm of your hand. Hear every English Premier League match all season long on the SiriusXM app. Just search for your favourite team.
Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. 7-6, the Blue Jays lead. Top of the 9th inning, pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Closer Jeff Hoffman in. Taylor Walls to lead off for the Rays. The bottom third of the order will bat this inning for Tampa Bay. The pitch. Called a strike, 0-1. As we zoom quickly to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, it's 6-6 in the Red Sox-Tigers game, so potentially a chance for the Blue Jays to gain ground on the second-place team in the division. 0-1, fouled away. No balls, 2 strikes. All of our out-of-town scores today brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Walls switch hitting, batting left. Faces an 0-2. Swing and a foul off. Sent that into the second deck behind home plate off to the left side.
I wonder if this is what the Cleveland Guardians felt like when Daniel Schneemann hit that grand slam to go ahead.
Might be. 0-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Good splitter on the outside corner. Would have been a strike even without the whiff. 1 down.
Well, that's vintage Jeff Hoffman right there. Throwing the heater for strikes and then the split finger down at the bottom of the strike zone. What a pitch.
Hoffman pitching in this 9th inning. That's brought to you by new pizza from Pizza Pizza. Get a huge 18-inch double XL 3-topping pizza for just $19.99. Bigger slices, bigger bites only at Pizza Pizza. Actually Canadian. First pitch to Travis Jankowski, called a strike. 1 out, bases empty. 7-6 for the Blue Jays in the 9th. Jankowski, a left-handed hitter, leaning back. Here's the 0-1. Outside, ball 1. Blue Jays trailed 4-0 in this game. Trailed 6-3. And they have found a way back into it, leading 7-6. 1-1. High and outside, 2-1. Third baseman Addison Barger playing in, watching a bunt from Jankowski. Everyone else deep. 2-1. Call to strike. Right-hander nods with the sign, set below the belt. His 2-2. Fouled back into the netting. 97 on the outer edge. Jankowski got the bat out to it.
Yeah, Jeff Hoffman has that good stuff tonight. We saw a little bit of losing the strike zone on the road trip. That probably comes with fatigue, but he's got it tonight.
He did finish the trip in a big way. Back-to-back saves in the first 2 wins against the Mariners. His 2-2. Just outside at 98. In fact, Hoffman struck out the side last time he pitched on May 10th. And the time before that, he struck out 3 but needed to get 4 outs in the 9th inning on the 9th because of a drop third strike. Righty's 3-2. Hit on the ground, foul, still a full count. A reminder that this copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts or descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. 3-2. Outside, ball 4. Tying run on base for the Rays as Jankowski works a 1-out walk.
I can understand why you throw 2 off-speed pitches there. Obviously, you don't want to groove something down the middle, but Jeff Hoffman has one of the best fastballs in all of baseball. If you locate that thing down and away, Travis Jankowski probably will just roll over it, swing and miss, maybe even pop it up, but you have to remember that.
Now Hoffman looks in at Danny Jansen. The pitch. Jankowski off from first and a bouncer through the right side, a base hit. Jankowski hits the bag at second and heads into third. That whole right side vacated because of the stolen base attempt. Jansen strokes it through that right side beautifully, and it's runners on the corners for the Rays. 1 out.
Well, Danny Jansen was trying to do that. He saw that big hole on the right side of the infield. You could tell that's where he was trying to go. A little weak dribbler through the hole. But now Jeff Hoffman has to get nasty. He has to try to strike out Simpson in this at bat.
Infield is going to come in. Even though it's runners on the corners, you are not thinking about a double play against Chandler Simpson, the 11th fastest player in baseball per sprint speed. So the infield in, 1 out. Hoffman's pitch. Simpson bunts, pops it up back behind the plate, foul. 0-1. That was a safety squeeze attempt. No stolen base from Jankowski, but the Rays were trying to get a little bit gritty there as they attempt to bring in the tying run from third.
And now you get really nasty. But Tyler Heineman needs to be a wall back there, has to block everything.
If the bunt is put down, the Blue Jays almost certainly will go to the plate. First and third, 1 out. Jankowski, the runner on third with decent speed. Simpson, the batter, has a lot of speed. 0-1. Swinging away, he lines it up the middle. A base hit into center field to tie the game. Jankowski in to score. Jansen up to second. It's 7-7.
Well, obviously that's not where Jeff Hoffman wanted that pitch. You could see Tyler Heineman with the target above the strike zone. They're trying to induce a pop-up in that situation or a swing and miss, but Jeff Hoffman missed that thing maybe thigh high right down the middle, and Simpson, a little short, compact swing, hammered that thing right back up the middle for an RBI.
So Hoffman no longer pitching for his save. Now is just looking to keep the Blue Jays in a tie score. 7-7 ball game with 1 out in the top of the 9th. First and second for the Rays. Pitch to Brandon Lau. Swing and a liner right field. Down for a hit. Jansen headed to third, gets a stop sign. Springer with a good throw back into Vladdy, the cutoff man. Bases are loaded for the Rays. 1 out.
Well, the problem right now with Jeff Hoffman is really simple. He's just leaving too many pitches over the middle of the plate. That was a split finger to Brandon Lau, and it was just a hanger over the middle, maybe a little floater. But he needs to find the zone. He needs to locate his pitches better to get out of this inning.
Pete Walker is going to go out to the mound and talk to Jeff Hoffman, who again struggled on the front end of that road trip against the Angels, but really had put it together with his last 2 appearances, retiring all 7 he faced with the exception of the drop third strike and punching out 6 of those 7. Hoffman in this outing, though, with a strikeout to start and then 4 straight have reached. A walk, a bouncing single off the bat of Danny Jansen, the line drive single by Simpson to tie the game, and Brandon Lau's line drive single to right field to load the bases for the Rays. Junior Caminero is going to hit. The Blue Jays playing in, but not as far in as before, as they have a better chance now to turn to double play. Barger at third is the deepest. Guerrero at first is the closest. Pitch to Caminero, called a strike. Slider started near the body of Caminero. He bailed out of the box as it dropped back into the zone. 7-7, 1 out, bases loaded, top of the 9th. Righty Hoffman hunched over, stands tall in the set, and the 0-1. Swing and a miss, ugly whip there from Caminero on a slider that might have bounced in front of the plate. It's 0-2.
Really nice job from Tyler Heineman back there, keeping that go-ahead run at third base.
Hoffman's 0-2. Down and away. Check swing by Caminero on another slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jansen on third, Simpson on second, Lau on first. The pitch outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pardon me, no longer Jansen on third. He's been replaced with Christopher Morel. Rays wanted a little more speed there in case there's a fly ball off the bat of Caminero. So Morel leading off third. 2-2. Swing and a deep fly ball. Left field. If it's fair, it's gone. And that's a grand slam for Junior Caminero. From up 7-6, the Blue Jays go down 11-7 with 5 runs scored by the Rays here in the top of the 9th.
What a crazy inning. Holy cow, but Jeff Hoffman again leaves that hanging split finger right on the inner third, maybe about thigh high, and Junior Caminero has a ton of power. He barreled that thing up and got it into third deck in left field.
So the Rays to double digits, leading 11-7.
Sorry, that was a slider. Just a little spinner.
Tyler Heineman going to go out to the mound and talk to Jeff Hoffman. You'd think that maybe Hoffman's day is done. He's thrown 21 pitches and given up 5 runs in a third of an inning.
They might be giving Braden Fisher a little bit more time to get loose out there. That's why Tyler Heineman kind of took his time getting out to the mound out there. John Schneider standing on the top step of that dugout. I would take him out if I was John Schneider in this situation. And I think they're going to.
Yeah, they're just killing as much time as they can to get Fisher ready. And now Schneider out of the dugout for a pitching change. Brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 11-7 Rays, 1 out, top of the 9th. Nobody aboard. Pitching change to Braden Fisher. And we'll go back to today's host. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben and Chris. Let's continue checking out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard. Let's go to the Stanley Cup playoffs first. The second round well underway. The second period in Dallas for our lone game on the calendar this evening is in the books. Dallas leading the Winnipeg Jets 2-1 in the second period intermission. Mikael Granlund getting not 1 but 2 goals for the Stars. Nikolai Ehlers has the lone goals for Jeff Blair's Winnipeg Jets. You can watch this game, as always, on Sportsnet and the CBC. In the NBA, the playoffs also in full swing. And after, again, trailing for much of this game, the Pacers beat the Cavaliers in Game 5, 114-105. Indiana wins the series 4 4-1, and they do advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. The second straight year they will be in the Eastern Conference Finals, only the second time they've done that since 2013 and 2014. Of course, we had a pair of teams last night taking 3-1 series leads as well. The Knicks beating the Celtics 121-113 in Game 4, while the Timberwolves beat the Warriors 117-110 in Game 4 as well. Both series will see Game 5s go tomorrow, which is Wednesday. And speaking of the Celtics, Jason Tatum went down with a leg injury last night in the final minutes of Game 4 for Knicks Celtics. It was announced today he underwent surgery to repair a torn right Achilles tendon. It was successful, but there is no return timetable for the Celtics All-Star. Blue Jays baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action at the Rogers Center. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. The Rays, with 5 runs and only 1 out recorded at the plate in the top of the 9th, have taken an 11-7 lead, knocked Jeff Hoffman out, and the Blue Jays will turn to the rookie right-hander Braden Fisher in a pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Second major league appearance of the career of Braden Fisher, who threw a scoreless inning in the 9th inning on Sunday to finish off the sweep of the Mariners. Gave up 1 hit but faced the minimum after a ground ball double play. Right-hander has the ball behind his back, waiting for the lefty swinger Jonathan Aranda to step in. Now he brings it out from behind him and tucks the ball into his glove. The pitch. Breaking ball lands in for strike 1. Four-seamer, slider, and curve for Fisher. He threw 8 breaking balls out of his 10 pitches in his major league debut. 0-1's another breaking ball called a strike. That was the slider. It's 0-2.
He's got a pretty big fastball, too. 95 to 98 miles an hour. Nice arm, nice curveball. I like what I saw the other day in Seattle.
Fisher's 0-2. Called strike 3. Gets a bit of a break on a pitch that looked inside, but Fisher will take it. His first career major league strikeout, and there are 2 down.
Jonathan Aranda didn't like that call. Ramon De Jesus having a chat with him right now, but not a terrible call, but that's a pitcher's pitch on the inside part.
And when they authenticate that ball, they don't write, might have missed a little bit inside. It just says first major league strikeout.
I think they do now.
Pitch to Cameron Meisner. Misses inside, that time called a ball. 1-0. So the Blue Jays, after coming back from down 4-0 and 6-3, will have to try and come back again, drilling 11-7, 2 outs top of the 9th. 1-0. Meisner ropes it on the ground, foul. 1-1. Toronto has Tyler Heineman, Miles Straw, and Bo Bichette set to hit in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the closer, Pete Fairbanks, is up for the Rays. 1-1, grounded off the mound. Bo Bichette takes it on a long hop and throws to first in time to beat Meisner and end the inning. 5 runs for the Rays, including the Caminero grand slam, and it's 11-7 Tampa Bay, middle of the 9th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
A team's defense is as precious as gold.
Oh, what a catch! A great catch by Dalton Varsho.
Brilliant displays of athleticism, pure talent, instinct, and ability.
And it's caught!
An invaluable defensive presence. He is simply
the best outfielder in baseball.
On Wednesday, May 14th, celebrate this golden honor with the Dalton Varsho Gold Glove bobblehead. Available for the first 15,000 fans in attendance. Your golden chance for tickets awaits at BlueJays.com. Lights up, let's go.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Middle in fastball, but he puts it by Cruz. 2 down.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you. The Blue Jays trail the Rays 11-7 as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning at the Rogers Center. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk tonight. Blair and Barker are back. The boys are nice and rested after the late week on the West Coast. At least I assume they are. They will take your calls and your texts. Jeff will throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. And you can text them as well. 590-590, name and location. The People's Text line always open. Standard data and messaging rates may apply. Blue Jays baseball, as always, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. The Jays trailing the Rays 11-7, bottom 9 at the Dome. With the call here, Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. It's a pitching change for the Rays, brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Pete Fairbanks is into the game. The right-handed throwing closer for the Rays takes over with Tampa Bay up 11-7, bottom of the 9th inning, and leading off for the Blue Jays is Tyler Heineman. It's a non-save situation for Fairbanks. Tall righty who has a 1.65 ERA in 16 1/3 innings. Fairbanks kicks and offers, and Heineman pops it up. Right side of the infield, Jonathan Aranda, the first baseman, waving for it. He'll make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Well, it's a tough ask to get 4+ runs against this Rays closer, Pete Fairbanks. He's been good for a long time. He's got elite stuff, and like you said, 3-1 with a 1.65 this season in 17 ball games.
It's a non-save situation, but I'd probably bring him in too if I was Kevin Cash, given the wild swings in this game. Pitch now to Miles Straw. Called strike, 0-1. Maybe 15 minutes ago, Dalton Varsho hit the go-ahead 3-run homer to give the Blue Jays their first lead of the day, up 7-6 in the bottom of the 8th. And that came up off setup man Edwin Uceda. 0-1. Swing and a fly ball. Deep right field. Going back, Jankowski leaps and it's over his head, bouncing into the wall. Straw racing up to second. He's got a stand-up double, and the Blue Jays have a heartbeat here in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, I said it's a tough ask to get 4+ runs, but that's a good start there. Just 1 out in this inning. Miles Straw just going the other way with that tough fastball down. A nice swing.
Straw flips it over to the top of the order. Bo Bichette to hit. He's 1 for 3 today, a 2-run homer and a walk. Fairbanks kicks and deals. Swing and a pop-up behind the plate, and that one is going to get over the netting. It's Ben Rortvedt now catching for the Rays. Danny Jansen taken out of the ball game when the Rays inserted Christopher Morel to pinch run for him. So Rortvedt catching the 9th. Runner on second, 1 out, 11-7 Rays, bottom of the 9th. 0-1 to Bichette. Swing and a liner, right field, sinking, down for a base hit, bouncing into the corner. Straw around third, he'll score. Up to second base goes Bichette. RBI double, it's 11-8.
You just got to keep that line moving, and Bo Bichette with another beautiful swing going the other way, line drive into that corner in right field. But that's how you get back in this ball game. Just keep that line moving.
For Bichette, it's his 13th double of the year and his team leading 21st RBI. Blue Jays bring Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up to the plate, and the tying run is on deck. Vladdy hitless today. 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. The pitch. Fouled back. Middle fastball at 96 there from Fairbanks. He averages 97 on the four-seamer, throws a bunch of sliders and an occasional change. Right-hander cupping his left ear with his glove. Now comes set. He's got the pitch calm sign. Runner on second, the 0-1. Swinging a ground ball, fair ball down the left field line. Bichette around third. He'll jog home. Guerrero into second with a third straight Blue Jays double. It's 11-9.
What a wild game, Ben. Holy cow. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. taking that slider at the bottom of the strike zone and hammering a hard ground ball down that line, down that third baseline. But How about that? The tying run comes to the plate for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Before Anthony Santander hits, Kyle Snyder out to the mound to talk to his pitcher. You mentioned it. What a crazy game. I don't know what's going on right now at Rogers Center. Some of the top relievers on both sides have had a lot of trouble. Tons of home runs in this game. 7 home runs total, and you're looking at 2 bottom 5 teams in baseball in terms of home runs hit this year. So much offense. 20 runs scored, 20 hits in the game. It's been a lot of extra base hits both sides, and the Blue Jays, with Straw, Bichette, and Guerrero all doubling in the 9th inning, have made it a possibility once again. 11-9 Rays. 1 out, bottom of the 9th, representing the tying run. It's Anthony Santander. Fairbanks offers. Santander ropes it foul into the stool under the attendant down the right field line. It's 0-1.
Santander was all over that four-seam fastball at 96 from Fairbanks. Roped that thing foul down that right field line. Almost killed somebody over there.
Ready to go for the 0-1. Fairbanks first base side of the rubber. Set at his belt. A look at second, the pitch. Swing and another liner foul off to the right. He's been on the 2 offerings so far from Fairbanks, a four-seamer and then a slider, but he's been out in front of both of them. Only 9 pitches thrown so far in this inning by Fairbanks. Aggressive approach for the Blue Jays has yielded 3 doubles and 2 runs. The 0-2. Inside, check swing by Santander, who definitely held up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2. Popped up foul. Out of play into the seats. Santander protects and stays alive. Prior to this appearance today, Pete Fairbanks had only allowed 3 earned runs the rest of the season and had not allowed any since April 19th. 2 runs already in this inning. Tying run at the plate. The 1-2 again. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Blue Jays had to lift their closer in the 9th. Kevin Cash at least thinking about it. Mason Montgomery is warming up in right field for the Rays. Guerrero on second after his RBI double. 11-9 Rays. Fairbanks covering his ear to hear the sign, now sets. From the stretch, the pitch. High and outside, check swing, ball 3. Now you have a tough choice. Do you go after Santander, who can tie the game with a swing, or do you pitch around him with first base open? 3-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Slider, top of the zone. Not sure that's at all where Fairbanks wanted it, but it ended up being a tough pitch, and Santander goes down.
Yeah, that was a tough one just because Anthony Santander was right on it. He saw the spin, and it didn't quite break as much as he thought it was going to. A tough pitch, a tough result for Anthony Santander.
Blue Jays down to their last chance, trailing 11-9. 2 runs in this 9th inning. George Springer up, representing the tying run. The pitch. Check swing. Called high. Ball 1. Again, that slider staying up for Fairbanks. Both teams have scored 6 runs from the 7th inning on in this game. The 1-0. High, 2-0.
You cannot find that release point on that slider. Another one above the strike zone.
George Springer with 5 home runs this season, tied for the team lead. 18 RBIs on the year as well. Runner on second. The 2-0. High, ball 3. He's missing up with everything now. That was a fastball well above the zone.
Do you see who's standing on deck right now?
Dalton Varsho. 2 homers in the game. If Springer can reach, Varsho represents the winning run. .3-0 pitch. Way high, ball 4. Springer down to first. The Blue Jays have the tying run aboard and the winning run coming to the plate.
Well, I don't know if they were trying to stay away from George Springer. 3-0 there as Kevin Cash comes to the mound, but that last fastball from Pete Fairbanks was nowhere near the strike zone.
Kevin Cash is going to make a pitching change, brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian, and he's going to bring in the lefty, Mason Montgomery, to get that platoon advantage against Dalton Varsho. Varsho representing the winning run. As Montgomery warms up, we will send you over for a couple quick messages from today's host, Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Welcome back inside Baseball Control. Show Ali here with you. And let's check out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. First, the third period just underway mere seconds ago between the Dallas Stars and Winnipeg Jets. The Stars entering this game up 2-1 in this second-round series. And right now, the Stars in this game are up 2-1. Mikael Granlund with 2 goals, both goals for the Dallas Stars. Nikolai Ehlers for the Jets. Again, you can watch this game on Sportsnet. Last night, we had a pair of games. If you missed these results, both winners taking 3-1 series leads. First, the Hurricanes grabbing a 5-2 win over the Capitals, while Stuart Skinner and the Oilers blanking the Golden Knights 3-0. Game 5 for the Oilers goes on Wednesday. That's tomorrow in Vegas. Game 5 for the Hurricanes goes on Thursday in Washington. The Leafs, meanwhile, they are off. They last played on Sunday night. They'll get back in action tomorrow, Wednesday. Their second-round series with the Panthers all knotted up at 2 games apiece. Game 5 will go in Toronto Wednesday evening at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. It will also be on Sportsnet and the CBC. Blue Jays baseball, as always, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. The Blue Jays have chased the closer Pete Fairbanks out of the game, but they still have some work to do. Trailing 11-9 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Toronto has 2 aboard, which means Dalton Varsho will come up representing the winning run. It was only 1 inning ago that Varsho came up with 2 aboard against Edwin Uceda, hit his 5th home run in his 10th game of the year to make it 7-6, but the Rays scored 5 in the top of the 9th, meaning Toronto needs Varsho to be a hero again. Lefty Montgomery, a 4.20 ERA, very tough on lefties. They hit 190 against him. His pitch, swing and a miss by Varsho, 99 elevated, 0-1. Guerrero on second. Springer on first is the tying run. Varsho at the plate, the winning run. 0-1. Bounce back foul, and in 2 pitches, the Blue Jays down to their final strike. It's a simple 4-seam slider mix for Montgomery, but he averages 99 on the 4-seamer and 90 on the slider. His 0-2. Check swing, pitch outside, appeal to third, no swing, and we'll do it again at a ball and 2 strikes. You can see Ben Rortvedt unhappy with that call of no swing. Took the mask off and was talking to the home plate umpire. Ooh, and he might have gone.
We just saw the replay, and he definitely went. This game should be over.
Second life for the Blue Jays. The 1-2. Swing and a fly ball, left center field. Coming in, Chandler Simpson waves his arms in the air, makes the catch, and the Rays hang on to win the game. 11-9, the final score at Rogers Center.
Well, that was a really difficult loss for the Toronto Blue Jays. Obviously, Dalton Varsho hitting that go-ahead home run in the 8th inning, and then Jeff Hoffman, who's been good over the last couple of games, had a little bit of a speed bump in Los Angeles, but the thing that I don't understand with Jeff Hoffman is I don't think he trusts how good his stuff is. He tends to throw the off-speed pitches just a little bit too much, and I think he got into too much trouble tonight.
Blue Jays lose 11-9. We will take a quick break, wrap it up for you, and get you over to Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Parker. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Go to pizzapizza.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fastball painted at the bottom of the zone, and that's back-to-back strikeouts.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center. The Blue Jays fall today in the series opener to the Rays. 11-9 is the final score. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And Chris, let's get right into it. The Blue Jays today started Jose Barrios against Shane Baz. Neither starter looked like they were their sharpest today, as Baz went 4 2/3, gave up 3, and Barrios went 5 1/3, surrendering 5, only 4 of them.
Hey sports fans, thank you so much for hanging out with us here on Toronto Sports Insider during the playoff pulse. Our mission is simple, bringing sports fans together to hang out, cheer, and change the world one insider at a time, while supporting SickKids Hospital in Toronto every single game.
Cheers, insiders and sports fans from around the world. The Playoff Pulse campaign on Toronto Sports Insider is uniting fans worldwide through the thrill of NHL and NBA playoffs. Every game, every fan, every moment counts. The link is pinned in the chat and in the description. Check out our campaign page. Donate if you can, or share it with friends. Holy Mackinac! Every click helps sick kids heal the future. Just by being here, you have already made an impact. Now, chat it up, keep it classy, and let's keep changing the world one insider at a time.
He hit a go-ahead homer in the 8th inning with Toronto down 6-4, hit a 3-run shot that hit the front facing of the 500 level down the right field line. Toronto up 7-6, but after a strikeout for Jeff Hoffman to start the 9th, walk, base hit, grand slam. 5-run inning for the Rays. The Blue Jays certainly made it interesting, coming up with 3 doubles in a row off of Pete Fairbanks. They actually knocked the closer out of the game after a George Springer walk, brought the winning run to the plate, but Dalton Varsho put in a tough spot. 99-mile-per-hour fastball from the left side was overpowering from Mason Montgomery. He got Varsho to fly out to left, and that ended the game with the tying run standing on first. The Rays win 11-9, 11 runs on 10 hits, no errors, 3 left. 9 runs for the Blue Jays, 10 hits, 1 error that scored a run, 5 left on base. The win goes to Edwin Uceda, who actually gave up the lead in the 8th inning, but was the pitcher of record when the Rays took the lead in the 9th. The loss goes to Jeff Hoffman. He's now 3-2, and a first career Major League save for Mason Montgomery, who came in to pick up Pete Fairbanks. Congratulations to him. He comes up with his first career save in the big leagues. 2 hours and 56 minutes this game took in front of nearly 28,000, and it's the Rays who hold on to win. 11-9 the final score. Tampa Bay 19-22, the Blue Jays 20-22. 21. For our technical directors, Tom Young and Christian Chiniti, our host and producer, Show Ali, my partner, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and come back tomorrow. Game 2 of the series again, 7:07 Eastern. Chris Bassett against Ryan Pepio. But now, stick around. Get your calls. Get your texts in. It's Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker, and it starts right now.
0590 888 star 590. If you want to reach us via the text line, 590 is the number. Standard message and data rates may apply. So, Kevin, 4 home runs for the Jays, 2 by Dalton Varsho. Jeff Hoffman giving up 5 runs in the 9th inning, that 5-run inning, lifting the Rays, ultimately lifting them to victory. Junior Caminero with the grand slam. Let's address Jeff Hoffman. First of all, even the best closers in the game do have innings like this. Chris LaRue doing the analysis on the radio, talking about some of the pitch selection on the part of Jeff Hoffman tonight.
Yeah, well, we've seen this before, right? We saw it, a couple outings ago when he threw the 3 sliders in a row to the bottom of the lineup when he don't have to do it. His fastball is electric. I couldn't agree more with Chris. I don't understand throwing the 8-hole hitter a 3-2 slider. I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense. Or 3-2 split finger. Sorry, that was non-competitive. You got a good hitter. He's hitting at the bottom of the lineup for a reason. Like, attack him, it's 1 out. I mean, if you walk him, at least you're throwing a pitch that you think you can control and get it in a decent location. I mean, it is true there is never a fastball count, but holy moly, like, to say that the adjustments occasionally when it comes to pitch selection need to be made, that's the one thing that needs to be addressed. The stuff's really good. I mean, you can't argue that. I mean, the way he acts on the mound's fine. It's just that pitch selection occasionally to the bottom of the lineup. You can understand doing that to a 3-hole hitter. Mm-hmm. But a dude in the 8-hole after you punched out at the guy in front of him, that for me, I just don't understand. And then, sometimes, again, you do things that you shouldn't be doing. The baseball gods make you pay for it. Caminero with the granny on the hanging slider, that was a little middle end, missing location. So, yeah, I mean, that's a tough loss after all the home runs that being hit. The at-bats, I've said this, let them throw it down the middle. Every one of them homers were middle down, middle in, or middle. Like, let them. You let them, you're going to have a really good chance to slug. I said this, they can slug if they let them throw a ball down the middle, no matter how hard you throw it. Mechanically now, these guys should be where they need to be. Now it's just getting your pitch, allowing the pitcher to throw you one down the middle. You do it, you'll have a chance. This is something they can build off of. But man alive, these are games you got to win, Jeff. I mean, It's just at home. You got the lead. You fight and clawed back. You had one of your better hitters run into one, something you hadn't been doing really all year. Boy, this is a tough one. Hopefully they can come back from it tomorrow.
Yeah, the Jays did mount a rally of their own in the 9th inning with back-to-back doubles. 3 doubles. Miles Straw, Bo Bichette, who hit a home run tonight, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. But ultimately, Anthony Santander striking out, George Springer walking, then Mason Montgomery coming in and inducing Dalton Varsho to fly out to end the game. Kevin, Dalton Varsho, a big game. A couple of home runs, a 3-run blast off the facing of the 500 deck.